Hey, we're live!
Hello!
Hey! Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of Legends of Avantris. I believe this is episode 25. Can you believe it's been that long? I certainly can.
No.
I can. So, just a few housekeeping things, like we always start the same way. We are a group of nerds embarrassing ourselves for your entertainment. We have been playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons as a group in this campaign, actually, for almost 2.5 years now. Next month it'll be 2.5 years. Holy moly, artichoke. And I think that rhymes, right?
No.
That's definitely how that works.
And we're playing 5th edition, mostly rules as written. We do a lot of rules as fun, rules as intended. And, hey Hobbit, what's up? We do a lot of homebrewing. So many of the stat blocks I use are from not supplemental material as well as homebrewed, edited, etc. If we're doing anything egregiously wrong or just morons, please let us know in the comments with what we're doing and the page numbers preferably. And this is a mature stream, so things can get kind of wacky. A lot of ape shit going on. We're not giving away the PAX D4. And with good hair, thank you, I appreciate that. And what else we got?
Thank you.
I guess. Oh, we're giving away a dice bag, custom dice bag. Sylvie, Nikki over here, who plays Sylvie in DM's our Feywild campaign. She is a seamstress and a crafter, so she can make dice bags. Those are just 2 examples. But once we get 200 followers, we're going to choose one of our followers at random, and Nikki will work with you to get the external, the internal, whatever patch you want. We have a lot of like HP stuff, Harry Potter. Oh God, don't sue us. We have D&D stuff. We have a bunch of stuff. So
World of Warcraft, anything you could
World of
possibly
Warcraft, yeah, anything
Game
you
of
want.
Thrones, too.
Yeah. Oh, Kelly C, if you want her.
You want to be a Targaryen?
Targaryen, yeah. If you want to worship the one true king, Stannis Baratheon, that's also an option.
Yeah, you can pick your
Thank
outer
you, Hobbit.
fabric, your inner lining fabric, the cording color. This is an actually embroidered patch, so it's like 3D and feels really nice.
Whoa!
So
yeah,
the world is your oyster if you win this guy.
We'll be giving you 200 followers, so tell your friends, spread the word, and you could win an amazing dice bag. And we'll actually be announcing a really amazing giveaway after we're done with this one. It's even better. So stay tuned. You want to hit that quickly. And so with that, I think we can go around and introduce the party and the players very quickly. First, we have Rishi, who's playing Godek Stonehearth, a mountain dwarf fighter. We then have Scotes playing Ganji Stormscale, a bronze dragon-born cleric.
With an even worse accent.
With an even worse accent. Everyone has great accents here. Only great accents. We have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket, a forest gnome warlock.
With many accents.
With many accents.
We have Kelsey here playing Annulin, not True Strike, Annulin Mosgrove, a wood elf ranger.
Mosgrove's my maiden name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's my ship.
Why didn't you tell us?
I ship it. And then finally we have Andy playing Avantris, True Strike. And
hello, governor.
Who he doesn't have that accent.
Yes, he does.
He does.
Voice in Ace.
Who is a high elf rogue, and he also is streams a lot of World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, League of Legends, PUBG, Fortnite.
Yes, with many of us playing,
yeah,
so it's a great time.
I don't play Fortnite because Thanos is in that game.
We so lit. So yeah, when you're not out here or whatever, the great underscore Andini, it's the same as his little name in the chat, and we all like to hang out there. It's a great time, so please follow him and hang out with us there. And then I am Mikey. I'm Dungeon Master, the Ironing Board DM, and I write fan fiction and roll dice. And I guess without further ado, let's get on to what happened last time on Legends of Avantris.
Let's do it.
So, last time on Legends of Avantris, I don't even know what happened.
We got the shit beaten out of us by some gorillas that were on the loose.
There were some gorillas on the loose. Previously, before that though, you had accidentally locked yourself in an external tower that had no windows, and the only doors were the one that you came in on that seemed to be locked, and a door at the very top. There were a series of chains, and you then discovered that there were a series of 6 pipes along with the 6 chains that were pumping incredibly dangerous, acidic ooze into the chamber. And you all had to climb on the ropes and the chains while being attacked by a horrific ooze monster that actually erodes armor along with the ooze at the bottom that also was rising. And the party managed to figure out, this is a puzzle, a bit of a video game puzzle, if you will, but the party solved the puzzle, figured out how to turn off all of the pipes of ooze, and that unlocked the door to the third tier of the turret, of the fortress, rather. And it also sent the acid back down. And so it was then they realized that this was the cage of King Krem's Growlings, which they had heard previously mentioned about certain crooks being, that was definitely a slip, crooks being fed to these Growlings for a variety of reasons, that he had been pretty unhinged, and that he was just basically kind of feeding everybody to that. And discovered that there were 3 of them. One was an alpha and 2 smaller ones. Through some shenanigans, they managed to figure out how to disarm the electric gate that was protecting the whole tier. And they then tried to sneak by, but old big alpha gorilla was able to smell real good. And it was like good. And he sniffed him out. And they slaughtered the gorillas. They found a key to the door on the other side, which was then covered in ape shit. And then retrieved, and as soon as they unlocked the door at the far end, they heard the booming voice of King Krem coming from up the stairwell. And with that, you're at the stairwell.
Okay.
So how close does he sound like he is?
So you get the sense that it is relatively loud and audible, but it's echoing so much that this whole tower is relatively echoey. So it could be echoing from far away. He does sound like he's probably upstairs and a good distance. You can just hear it.
He's just a loud kind of guy.
Can you remind us what you said, like, last time?
What did he say?
He was
Oh, these are moldy! Bring me new ones! And
I wonder what's moldy.
I think that's King Krem. I think he's somewhere up there. We're probably getting close.
Probably.
Are we all prepared to do what we have to do when the time comes?
Absolutely not.
So I was going to ask all of you, how long have we been awake?
Well, a long time.
We slept.
Yeah, you guys slept before you went into the fortress.
Remember?
But we've
We
been
had this whole
awake.
conversation before.
Okay.
I don't think it's been that long.
Okay.
It couldn't have been more than like.
So I have to tell you guys a story. And I don't want you to be mad at me because it's just something I do. So I went back into that room where you fought that bug. You mentioned there was a bug. And I have a list of things that I'm looking for a very secret project. And in there were these pools of glittering green beautifulness, which turned out to be acid. And I jumped into one of them. And it did a lot of damage to both my body and my armor. And so that kind of sucked. And I didn't want to tell you about it because, well, it's a little embarrassing, I guess.
It was the same kind of thing that happened to Ganji's armor.
Yeah. And I guess I could have warned you, which is part of the reason I'm really embarrassed about it. But I didn't. And so, like, Ganji, do you feel a little weaker than you used to? Yeah, me too. So I changed out of my old ugly armor and I put on, or my new, now ugly armor, and I put on my old ugly armor because it was better. And you're still wearing your new ugly armor.
Because we sold my old armor.
Yeah, we did. And that cost a lot of money.
Oh, right. I
And
forgot.
now it sucks.
Yeah.
And I could have warned you, but he didn't. So this is me feeling very bad about it. But also, I'm tired.
Well, if you've only been awake for 8 hours, do you have time to take a long rest?
Well, I was thinking maybe, no. I was thinking maybe we could take like an hour to like think things through. And maybe...
I would love to take a rest. But I
I
don't know
agree.
that the stairwell to wherever he is the best place, especially if he's asking for someone to go bring him new ones who might be walking down the stairs as we speak.
Well, we could hang
Agreed.
out with. Ooh, we could hide under the growlins. Ooh, we could. You've worn animals before, Avantris. Do you want to put on a growlin, and then we could pretend to be growlins inside of growlins?
No.
Okay. Well, we could hide. Well, no, because if we hide under them, then they're gonna look dead, because they are. Oh well, this is just a tough decision.
Why don't you cast your weird dome thing, your pink dome, and we'll rest for an hour, and then we'll sneak up
But-
there and see.
But when the people come down to get the non-moldy
We don't know if they're
whatever,
coming this way. Listen, is there anybody coming?
Make a perception check.
Oh, 18.
18. As you peer up the spiral stone case and put your ear, you hear the familiar voice of King Krems. It booms down with a mixture of rage, disappointment, and instability. When was the last time I had fresh sponge in my private stock? You hear a timid, quaking, and unfamiliar voice hesitate before responding. I'm sorry, my king. We haven't had a successful raid since Gullhaven to refill our supply, and... Well, why not? We lost so many of our raiders in the assault, and with the work we were doing for Orpheus and the madness in Gangplank because of Ratley and Victor Vicious, we don't... What did you say?
Well, that might have solved the problem.
I'm sorry, my king. I didn't mean to. I thought I told you to never breathe the names of any of those mutineers in my presence. You did, my king. I'm not sure what came over me. I was just... Are you implying that my deal with Advisor Orpheus was a terrible decision and lacks in leadership abilities that has led us to ruin, and that I'm just some pathetic pawn in his game to be disposed of the moment he has no use for us?
He's projecting a lot.
There's a brief moment of silence that falls over the chamber
That's oddly specific, my liege.
before being broken by a trembling whisper. I didn't say that, my king. I only meant... Do you think that Vic the Vicious and Ratley would be better rulers than me? Of course not, my king. I'm sorry for... Are you in league with them, you filthy mutineer? My king, please, let me... The grisly sound of metal slicing through flesh echoes down the stairs, followed by a heavy thud of something rolling down stone floors. The bouncing continues to get louder and louder and louder as Rodek, you see the severed, bloody head of a relatively large head starts bouncing down the stone stairwell towards you.
Ooh. Did you hear all that?
That was the single greatest dialogue that we've ever had in this entire game.
Now, does anyone else have anything to say about my leadership qualities? You hear a number of voices immediately respond in unison. No, my king. Good. Now, if the rest of you lot would like to keep your heads attached to your good-for-nothing bodies, feed this one's corpse to the Cook Crocs, and for the love of the nine hells, find me some motherfucking bananas!
How many voices do we think we heard?
You probably heard about 4. The voices call out again in unison. Yes, my king! Hurried footsteps dominate the sounds coming from above, along with the dragging of something heavy, followed by a loud splash and subsequent sounds of thrashing about in water. You then hear the rattling of chains, the clanking of gears, and the reverberation of what sounds like some sort of gate, metal gate opening. More hurried footsteps become softer and more distant before a loud crashing of a metal gate slams back down, and the room returns to at least the stairwell returns to relative quiet.
So it sounds like they all left the room.
It sounds like King Krem has a banana fixation.
Which is very
Do you think
convenient.
I could polymorph someone into a banana?
Is that how this spell works?
Bananas are creatures, right?
Not it.
They're creatures. Because they hang out in trees and they have conversations with each other.
You could try.
Okay. Not right now, though. Because I'm tired. Ah.
Do we hear anything else? Or is it relatively silent?
Seems to be relatively quiet from what you can hear down here.
So we heard splashing.
You did. The splashing went on for a while, and then it kind of subsided again.
So he's got crocodiles in a pond that he just threw the body to.
Yeah, okay, got it.
So my question is this. Can I keep the head?
Go for it.
Well, I suppose we've had decent success using this for a disguise.
No, I just wanted to put it on the broom so that the Goralin had a friend.
Oh, go on.
Okay, thanks.
And so I'm going to skewer that head onto the end of my broom so that the Goralin and this gator
That's
guy are looking
disgusting.
at each other.
Can you make a dex check
So
for
is it
me?
like shish kebab?
Yeah. A natural one. So 4.
You spend a good 10 minutes. It's not really spearing as well as you'd like because it's a blunt object. And you basically just mash it. Its neck hole is like horrifically gaped. There's like blood streaming down. Like you accidentally rip through it, pokes through the eye.
Oh, this
But
is
you
a mature
managed-
stream, by the way.
What?
This is a mature stream,
Yeah,
by
mature
the way.
stream. And you managed to get it fastened. It's a little wobbly, but you got it on.
And I'm going to prestidigitation them clean.
They look beautiful. They look just like best friends.
I wanna. Can
Don't
we get away from
interrupt
this
them when
door?
they're talking.
Can we get away from this door?
Okay. Can we go back in the other room and take a rest?
We're still in the gorilla room, right? We're just at the
Correct.
doorway.
You're at the you can see it right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we are.
There.
Right here.
We're there. So this is the stairway up. Well, I don't mind. Why don't we walk down here? And I point down, and let's just get along this wall. And you set up your bubble, and we'll take a rest.
I'm just so tired. I don't want to have to do anything more for you.
Will it take like 10 minutes?
Yeah, but that's 10 minutes of time I could be putting more things into my pack for something I want to make.
And 10 more minutes that it takes to rest.
Why can't we just sit here?
It's fine. I'm still going down this, so I start walking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going down. I don't want to.
Oh, you're going down. Where are you going?
We weren't up here. We were at
Yeah.
the bottom.
Yeah, up here. I want to walk. Wait, so
So we
this
were
is
just literally
you're
right here
at
on
the
the inside of
entrance.
the door.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is down, right?
No, it's up.
No,
Oh, that's up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I
It's
Like-
also totally.
It's
So
spiraling
we're just-
upwards to
Alright,
where you
yeah.
assume
Got
you
it.
came
So
up
like
from.
here, just like along the wall,
And sit down.
and I'm gonna sit down and take a rest.
So you want me to make you a house, but you don't even know whether the stairs are going up or down. How am I
It's not
supposed
very
to-
clear.
How am I supposed to help someone like you? No, Growlin Head, it's fine. I can handle this on my own.
You know, why don't we just
Thank you,
take a
weird
rest?
alligator man that I never met. I agree.
Do we get a short rest?
You look over that way before you take a short rest. Who has been quaking this entire time.
Did he say my name twice?
He did. It sounds like he doesn't like hearing it, which is pretty cool, actually.
I don't think that's cool at all. Look at fun going up there.
You know, and it's not like I had anything special with the person or anything, but I just feel really bad that Nick the Nasty's not getting any credit for anything. Like, if it weren't for Nick, I don't think that Vic would be as far along as Vic is, you know? And it's just kind of sad, I would have to say.
I have to concur. Vic is nothing without Nick.
You know, like, I
The-
feel like though Nick is incapable of most things and is quite obnoxious and bothersome and a little bit like me, I feel a connection. I wonder why. And I just think that they were a great cheerleader, would you say? For Vic? And it's just a sad thing. And so I don't think that you, Ratley, should be at all upset about the credit you're getting, because at least you're getting some.
Well, I didn't want any credit. I didn't write my name in blood all over a jail cell.
Well, to be fair, we were never going up there to have like a calm chat with him anyway. We're going up there to kill him, so he's gonna be pretty pissed at you for trying to kill him, regardless of what he knows about your name.
I don't think he knows what I look like. I hope he doesn't know what I look like.
That's true.
So,
Well, if you stick with us, you'll be the last thing he ever sees.
and just whatever you do to everyone, don't, if we happen to meet King Cram and we're in his presence, don't mention that he's Rattly. Whatever you do.
Yeah, call him Scabbers.
When we were still in the town, did we see any like wanted style posters of like Nick and Vic?
It had just been recent. You had heard like whispers, but probably not enough time for like posters to be put up.
We'll be looking.
Tell
I
us
think you're
first.
gonna be fine.
Alright, so
Now take a rest,
Okay.
relax, and then we can go very stealthily and get a lay of the land before we do anything else.
Okay. You get a long rest, and about an hour passes.
Oh,
Well, I suppose I should,
Short rest.
Short rest, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I better max out here.
Oh, that didn't.
I'm out of hit dice.
I am just now out of hit dice.
I just rolled a
This is
1.
like the only time it's ever happened. It's been this stretch. I've run out twice.
Question: can you give someone a hit die?
No.
I'm maxed out on HP though. I'm good. I use them up to top.
Oh, I wasn't gonna give you one.
I figured.
I'm
Yeah.
not fucked up.
I am now topped out. Or off.
I'm at 38 hit points.
Are you really?
Yeah. That's
He got like double crit, didn't he?
yeah. I've been getting wrecked this entire dungeon.
His armor's all gone. Like,
Yeah.
How many spell slots do you have?
A few. I'm going to use at least one to heal myself.
Well, how does everyone feel?
Not the best.
I feel
I never felt
significantly better than I did before.
I'm good. Okay.
Ratley after the end is like,
well, if everyone's feeling, I'm feeling okay. If everyone's not feeling so good, I should probably mention these 3 bits of brew that Winky made me before I went up. And it's a little, if it's not poison, I don't think it's poison. If you didn't get it mixed up and it's not poison, it might make you feel a little better.
I would try it.
I still have 1 greater healing potion as well.
Did you say bruschetta?
Yeah, it's really good bruschetta, yeah. You got it at Maggiano's.
I'll try
I
it.
think I've heard
What,
of that.
what did you say?
what? For what word?
Make me some.
Brew? She named some brew. Some kind of brew.
A brew.
Some
Oh,
kind of
brew,
potion.
yeah.
I heard bruschetta.
Oh no, some brew that Winky made.
Okay.
I don't mind departing with the greater healing potion. It's, you know, probably a good time to use
I
it.
do have several healing pots myself.
Do I have any healing potions left? Nikki? Well, Ganji, if you're willing to try it,
I'll try it. Yeah. I have a good con save.
how many do you have?
I have 3.
I'll take one
Okay, here you go.
when I drink it.
You drink it. It basically has the same properties of a regular healing potion.
Okay, cool.
so I still have all 5 of mine, and then there are 5 remaining. But I don't know, because I wasn't there for a couple of sessions. I don't know if you guys used them.
Rodek didn't use any healing potions.
I had 3 and I used 2, so I have 1 left.
So that keeps 4 unaccounted
So
for.
Because I still, I believe I have 4. But that means everybody would have used all of theirs.
No,
I was getting beat to shit.
You have
I
definitely
had marked
used
that I had
far
6
more.
greater. Is that wrong?
I still have 5 of mine. I'm pretty sure I've been keeping track of my own. And
Because I know that
I've been getting rid of them every time someone's used them, and I know you used 1 to shove down
I know.
my throat.
So I had 5
You also used 2 on yourself.
on the Deodra fight.
Yes.
Okay.
So you were at least 3 down. I don't think you had any left.
Me?
Yeah, I don't think you had any left.
Okay.
No, if you're 3 down, did you use? Have you used any healing potions since?
I think no, I haven't used any healing potions since Deandra, and I only used 3.
But
So
I
have
think
2.
you used some before the Deandra fight.
So if I have 2,
That's why you should have been keeping track of all this stuff.
well, I thought I had.
Apparently not.
10.
We have
Yeah, I
10
mean, I know what
healing
I've got in my
potions.
possession, but that's about it. I don't know about everybody else.
And Annulin, how many do you have?
I had it marked. I haven't used any greater healing. I had it marked that I have 6. Did I start with 6?
You could have had one and just everyone got 5.
Everyone had 5, yeah.
I have 4 left.
So you probably have 6.
There's no way.
God damn.
There's no way that she has 6. He has his. I have
Are you
mine
sure you're not keeping
because
track of like yours and mine?
I'm 100% positive I was not keeping track of just yours and mine.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick while we sort this out.
So-
I need like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I was gone for those 2 days, so I don't know if anybody used
No
any.
one.
And so if nobody
Andy.
used
The only one
any-
that did was Andy.
So
and
that
he
would put
marked
us
it
down
down.
at 9 instead of 10 because I put my inventory back to what it was
There's no way you used
the
that.
last session
You
that I
got
was at.
25 potions.
We used a ton of potions. We got in that huge fight with the sea lions, and you guys were like really damaged. Like then we had all of the Deandra stuff, and it wasn't just her fight. Like there was a lot of stuff that we went through.
I would say let's just go with the potions that everyone has marked down, and then we'll figure it out after.
Okay, that works. So I have 2. Do I? So I want to go up to this doorway and listen again.
Okay.
Check. Oh, 10.
10. You listen and you hear kind of the occasional splash and ripple of water, a little bit of the howling of wind, faint howling of wind, and that's really about it.
All right. Is the storm going outside?
Yeah. It's subsided a good amount, but it's still going, but it seems to be less focused around the fortress, and it does seem to be subsiding. You see a little bit of the moon come through.
All right. Well,
I'm ready.
What was at the top of the stairs? Is that a door? And we already discussed that. I forget.
At the top of the stairs, you guys, it's a spiraling staircase, so you haven't been to the top yet.
Okay. Well, should we be traveling up, see what's up there?
Only way to go.
Can you pass me my blue notebook that's over on top of one of the boxes?
so before we do this, do we want to use magical means to make us especially stealthy? Or how are you feeling, Annulin, as far as energy for that?
Yeah, I think I could do that. I feel like, why don't we just start going up there and just see what we hear and hold off for right this second.
That's fair. I'll go very slowly.
Let everybody just stealth and we'll travel up and I'll go ahead and see what I can hear.
So that's gonna be a 10 for me.
14 for me.
21 for me, surprisingly.
10, 14,
I got a 30.
30.
Must be nice.
Annulin?
It's very nice.
I got a 12.
Okay. Okay.
So why don't you sneaky elves lead the way, and just we'll keep an ear out.
All right.
Alright,
I lead the way.
Okay.
I'll go up with them.
So you creep up these smooth stone stairs, and it seems to go up and up and up as you make probably a full loop and a half as the sound of light splashing and the howling wind from above, the occasional crack of thunder, is getting louder and louder, and you see a glow of torchlight from up ahead, and both of you see a open door with a wooden frame.
Does it look like the doors that have the same magical means of cold blood, warm blood detection?
Make an intelligence check.
Good God, I'm intelligent. I got a 23.
23. This does not seem to be that style of door. It rather than like a heavy stone frame, it has a wooden frame, seemingly sloppily boarded up. The door is open. You see that there's the flickering of torchlight, or at least a firelight, as you hear kind of some low grumbling. And
do we see any shadows being cast?
Make a perception check.
16.
16. As the torchlight is flickering and kind of moving around, there doesn't seem to be moving shadows, but you can see that there does seem to be two shadows occasionally being cast outside of the door. Two figures, the shadow of two different figures, kind of being a very long shadow.
Like, do you mean like the shadow, like they're inside and it's casting
So,
the shadow?
as if
out
there
the
were
door?
two figures inside that are standing there, the light is being cast and the shadow is stretching out to the store,
Okay.
to the top of the stairs.
Do you relay that? I guess, do we all see it?
I would nudge Avantris and say, you know, like, sorry, I'm a popsicle man. But
She says that in character.
Yeah. Anyone's licking on a
Yes.
popsicle.
I need a little snack.
So what, you're nudging at me and like pointing at the shadow or something? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm saying there's two, but I'm not saying it because we're nearby.
Okay. And then we were about to hear something.
Ah, you were about to hear something. So with that perception roll, you also hear the low kind of rumble.
What do you two think? Now be honest. Do you think that my deal with Advisor Wolfish was a bad idea? Ah, that's right. You can't answer because I'll cut out your tongues. When are they going to be back with my fucking bananas?
And you kind of hear some like grumbling and some rustling and kind of a slimy, the sound of like rooting around in something slimy and gross.
Have we passed any doors going up the stairway, or
Nope.
this is the first one?
Just a stone stairwell going up, and this is the top. This seems like the stairwell ends, and then there's an open door at the landing, and that's it.
Okay, cool.
I make eye contact with Avantris. And do one of these, like...
I'll hold up 3.
Okay. First word sounds like
Just go check it out and come back.
I feel like it's not wise to like step through the open door where there are potentially tongueless guards.
Don't
So-
step through. Go ahead.
Can I'd like to go up to the edge of the door and pull out my dagger and like Mission Impossible, look around the corner and my knife.
Okay.
that's pretty badass.
That's pretty smart.
Cool. And what was your stealth roll? Was the 14?
That was mine.
That was a 12, I think.
Oh, the 12.
No, it was a 14.
Yeah, 14, let's go with that. It was a 12.
Okay.
But I don't know that, so.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. You creep up the stairs and you have a knife with you. Okay?
I have like a dagger.
Okay. You're creeping and you make your way up the stairs and you press your body very, very lightly, very tightly against the side of the wall, and very slowly you draw your dagger and you place it into the torchlight and try to get a reflection. For this, why don't you make just a quick perception check for me? See what you can make out in the
Not very much. That is a 12.
It's a 12, okay. So the first thing you notice as you get to the top of the stairs is that, once again, that cool, damp wind of the storm around the fortress on your skin. But you also notice, you smell the stench of rotting fruit. You look at your dagger and try to get a lay of the land without being too conspicuous. And you can barely make out a large, ovular room with stone brick floors. Along the walls are haphazardly arranged planks of wood in an apparent attempt to resemble some kind of captain's quarters. You see a number of large pools around, dug in to the stone floor of disturbed, murky water. And to the left side, to your left if you were facing the room, is a, hold on, sorry, is a huge iron gate that seems to be blocking off where the fortress had crumbled away. At the center of the room, you notice an iron grate of metal, and the ceiling seems to be fully plated in metal sheets with a number of chutes built into the top of the ceiling here. Directly in front of you, standing a number of feet away from the door, but facing the back of the room, are the backs of two medium-sized, not the huge, like, burly ones, but very grim, heavily scarred looking lockjaw crooks, armed with curved swords. And directly,
So they are facing the door?
they're facing away from you. So they have their backs to the door, they're facing away, as they are observing what you're able to barely observe, which is the huge, bloated figure of King Krem, rooting around in a large pile of rotten banana peels and mashed banana and fragments. And beside him is an enormous throne, gaudy and plush. And you see on the very back of the room, above his throne, hanging, is the huge black flag with the colors of the lockjaw crooks. The crocodile skull with the two crossed bones might kind of look like this.
Hey.
Imagine that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back down, and just kind of...
Our dog is being really bad. I'll bring it back. Hold on.
We have a cat that he can see from our window, and it's like freaking out. So I would go back down and kind of gather the crew around and say, very quietly, I can see the three of them up there. The two are not facing the door. It's weird. It almost looks like a captain's something from like a boat. King Krem is losing it. He's digging in a pile of mushy bananas. I don't know what's going on, but it's just pretty.
Is King Krem also facing the door?
No, they're all facing away, right?
He was facing. You saw like his looming form over this huge mound of bananas besides his throne. And so, you know what? I'm just going to reveal the whole thing because he saw it.
Get out of here, fog of war.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's bring this guy over here.
And so I would also just tell them, I can see a gate where I think, those noises we heard of them moving away, I think that they went through there. So we can at least maybe feel a little bit safe that we won't, have someone get us from behind.
Let's show the view. So these are the smaller guys. And who's here?
Also, judging by the distance, I think that I may be able to dash between the two guards and close distance on King Kreb. If the rest of you want to deal with the guards, I can at least start to soften up King Kreb a little bit. I'm ready to go toe to toe.
We could do that. I guess King Krem's not going to be distracted for long enough for us to take out the two guards on our own.
You might be able to, though, with numbers. I mean, we have numbers.
Yeah, but the thing is, if there's another door in there, he can just call for reinforcement. The guards probably can't, because cut out their tongues, so they're probably pretty quiet. But King Krem is very loud, and I'm sure he has ways to get people's attention, so the moment you start stabbing him with your pokey rod thing that draws blood, he will yell.
And I'd rather be next to him when he does that, as opposed to when we burst through the front door.
I wonder if there's a way we could get him to send his guards out here, where we could fight them out here.
Again, I think then the only thing that happens is he calls for reinforcements as soon as he hears the commotion, and then we're bottlenecked in this hallway.
What if he doesn't hear the commotion? What if it's silent?
I worry about you using any more energy before we face King Krem.
I mean, if we want to wait another 10 minutes, I won't. If we want to wait that long, that's a risky business if people are coming back to something.
How far can you cast that spell?
I think it's like 60 feet. But again, I don't think we can fight them in here, because I don't think we can kill them before he turns around. We would have to get him to draw them off, and then even then, that's only going to buy us a minute or two before he gets suspicious.
Which is why I think we just bring the fight to him.
If I can manage to somewhat sneak up on one of these guys, I might be able to take him down.
So I have a
In
really
one go.
interesting idea.
Okay.
What if I sent Lumi in there invisibly, and she whispered in one of the ears of the guys that he cut their tongues out and said, we know what Krem has done for you. This is a gift from Vic the Vicious. Fight on our side. Let's take down King Krem. And because she's with them, she casts invisibility on both of them, and maybe they could invisibly fight with us, or they could invisibly attack us. But either way, it's the only way I could really get her in there to say anything to them, and then that could be really helpful if there were two guys that he couldn't see that could just whack away on him. I don't know, it's just a random thought.
Well,
it's clever.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No.
I don't like the idea, again, of you using any more energy than you need to.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is, you remember my boyfriend Matthias, also known as my husband? I have his stepdaughter in my weapon, in my rod, and so if I expend spells, I can get at least one back from this.
The way I see it is that, no matter what, it's going to be a brutal fight. I think that we can take out two of his guards. We've proven
but why
we can kill them easily, quickly.
Yeah, but he cut their tongues out, Rodak. Come on.
Well,
they've been through enough. If we have a chance to save their lives and they can fight for the right side, then shouldn't we do that?
Then just don't make them invisible.
But then what do they have to believe besides a disembodied voice of a pixie who doesn't want to talk to them? Telling them, fight for Vic the Vicious, he'll protect you. Like, do you think they're going to do that? No. But if all of a sudden they have some way to believe that there's a magical entity or something that's helping them, then maybe they'll do it.
Could Lumi just
Would
flash
you
her
listen
invisibility?
to a disembodied voice?
Why doesn't she just show herself?
Because they'll just whack her with a stick and she'll be dead. And then I've just been an hour trying to get her back. And that would suck. I need her.
Could you...
I'm nothing without her.
You're a lot without her.
I love her.
Well,
Ratley goes up and says, if those are King Cram's personal guards, I don't think Whispering Tomb is gonna have them turn traitor. They've got big axes and they've killed more of us than probably King Cram has.
Yeah, and I would believe that if you hadn't cut out their tongues. But there's only so much a guard can take, you know? He's going nuts.
Well, that's a fair point. If they're so brainwashed, why would a little pixie whisper him?
I don't know. I just feel really bad killing something that
I
can't even
don't.
speak.
I think it was a very good idea. I think it was clever.
I very much like the idea. The only thing I'm worried about is if she doesn't convince them, then we've given up our element of surprise.
That's true. Okay, we'll do whatever you guys want, but personally, I don't know. I just want to... Oh, I feel so sad.
Now, tell me if this is crazy. Is there any reason to try to even communicate with King Cram?
Probably not.
I would say
mean,
no.
Unless we
But
wanted
Ratley,
Unless they wanted to pull another harvest festival and I mount Avantris. And we use my major illusion to make him look like Orpheus. And I, use the voice thing to make him sound like Orpheus. Similar to what we did when we were pretending to be that one guy.
Jericho.
Yeah, and we just stroll right in there and, get him into a precarious situation. I don't know.
Can you turn into Orpheus without using any spell slots?
Yeah, but I'm a short Orpheus. And so the thing is, when I walk in there, King Krem's really big. I think he would notice a significant height difference between the normal Orpheus and
But it could give Vandris at least a chance to sneak behind him and get a nice hit. And we might find some kind of information about Orpheus's plan from Krem. Who else but King Krem, besides Orpheus, would know what Orpheus's plan is? At least parts of it. Whoever this guest is, King Krem probably knows.
Yeah, but I've already tried it a couple of times, and it only works like 50% of the time, and this is like a really big time. And so, if my math is correct, then 50% success rate means that I've got a 99% chance it won't work.
I'm not going to force you to try. I won't force you.
It's Fey math.
I just think that, especially we don't know where his lair is. Apparently, it's through his throne room, but we have no idea. How high are we? We're hundreds of feet in the air. I don't know how that would possibly lead to a volcano lair.
Why don't we just do Vandris' idea where he runs in and he stabs him, and then we just go, okay, we'll help you.
I like that plan.
I don't know that we're going to get King Krem to tell Orpheus where Orpheus' own hideout is anyway.
Yeah.
You could use your beguiling charms to
I am not that charming.
wordsmith your way there.
No, see, the thing is, so Lumi and I have been practicing to make me more betterist with my words, and I'm still very young at it. And I'm trying to be charming, but let's be honest here. I'm not very charming, and I say a lot of stupid shit, and I'm just gonna make it worse.
Alright, if you don't want to be Orpheus, that's fine. I say then...
If the four of you can take those two guards, lead King Krem to me, and then you can come in like the Shining Cavalry as soon as you're taking care of them.
Now, do you want to try to get close to King Krem unseen? And then the second you attack, we can all run in.
I think with the torchlight, it's unlikely. I don't think I'll be able to sneak by.
One question. So these, we can see these pools, right?
Well, Annulin saw some pools around the room.
Okay. Annulin, were the guards close to one of the pools?
I mean, I would have seen that, right?
Was that? I mean, you would have seen they were standing probably 10 feet away.
Do you think?
Are there two pools, or I can't
There are four
see
pools.
some?
Because it sounds.
Oh, sorry.
It sounds like if he was throwing people.
Pool, bananas,
Pool.
pool.
Yeah.
Gate.
And then like a grate.
And the gate over
And the
there,
gate
right?
is over there, yeah.
Because if we can rush in the surprise, try to push one of them over into the into the pool? It sounds like there's something bad in there that might take them out of the fight right away.
Well,
That would at least get one out of the way quick.
Do they look like pools or puddles?
They were pools. They were pretty deep pools, similar to the ones that you had seen down on the second tier of the fortress. Oh, go ahead.
so I could also try something. I don't really want to be Orpheus because I screwed it up so many times. But I could try it, and then when I get close enough, I could try to charm him like I did with the fun elemental. Because if he's not mad at me, then it's a little more successful than it would be if he were mad at me. So I could try.
That's a brilliant idea.
Wow, Roderick said something nice about me. Are you sick?
No, I think
Did the aliens
if
get
you
you?
pretend to be Orpheus and he thinks you're his friend, it's like business as usual. We could easily trick these two guards. We could walk right in. Orpheus and Krem could acknowledge us as friends. Would you like to try?
Just as a notification, as a reminder, I think that this plan is fine, but King Krem has seen our faces. This is not the first time that we've engaged him. So the rest of us probably won't just be able to waltz in, but it's at least enough of a cover for us to get a position of advantage.
Alright. And try to find out some kind of information if we can.
One last thing though, if things start to go south, I'm coming in.
Okay,
With that, you hear like, well, I think this one is not as moldy as some of the others. I'll try to lick the scraps. And you hear it sounds like he's sitting back down on his throne.
So he's like, here.
Okay, I'm going to use my Hat of Disguise to disguise myself as Orpheus again.
Okay.
And I am going to use my Minor Illusion to replicate his voice.
Okay.
And in the stairwell, I'm going to... God, can you remind me of what his voice sounds like again so I can give this a shot?
Evening, dude.
I shouldn't have been doing my hair. Ooh, accident.
Oh, what a terrible head on this stairwell. Disgusting. Blood on my cloak. Whose fault is this? And begin to walk up the stairs, trying to replicate the sound of, like...
And I want to slowly
Krem
creep behind her, still completely out of sight.
Okay.
But just sort of use the cacophony of her echoing voice to kind of hopefully hide.
So all of you are doing that?
Yeah, I am.
Oh my god.
Wait, what are you just like sneaking in?
So I want to stay.
I'm just gonna walk. I'm just gonna waltz right.
Okay. So Nikki's gonna waltz right in, but I want to be like here. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
I want
right
you
here.
right next to the door.
Okay.
So I'm going to say this, and then
I'm going to point at Rodek, and I'm going to point that if things go south, we should try to push number 2 into the puddle.
All right.
Into the pool.
Because you mentioned that, so I acknowledge what you're trying to get across.
So I'm going to waltz right in. I'm going to be like, and I'm going to say, blood on my new cloak. Disgusting. This is one of their faults. Is it all this madness over this Vic?
So you step into the room, and you see immediately the two guards turn. They almost look mechanical with how swiftly but smoothly they turn at you without taking a single step. They eye you. You can see that each one of them is missing either one of their left or right eye, respectively. You see that they're horrifically scarred. They have these thick gray hides and these long leather coats. And you see Krem perk up, and you see both of his weapons, his enormous curved sword and his strange contraption that he had stolen from Vito, perk up and sit on his throne as he looks and peers at you and says, Orpheus, what are you doing out of your volcano lair? Don't you have that genie to deal with?
The genie is nothing when I hear word that you are going insane over a piddly gator man in your swamp.
So are you stepping? Are you walking?
I'm standing right at the door,
Okay,
and
right.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm going to say, I have people on it. From what I've heard, his head was not hard to take. We should be able to post it high in the sky sometime within the next hour. This mutiny, whatever it was, should be quelched, and you can get on with our plans.
Roll a deception check.
Please do it for me.
That's pretty good.
18.
I believed it. Who knows?
Yeah.
My Orphan's impression is terrible.
He narrows his eyes a little bit, and you see his one bulging eye is even more wild and bloodshot than the last time that you had seen it. And he's looking at you with a sense of extreme distrust as he says,
I thought you needed that genie alive. And I thought you said I could rule my peoples however I wanted. You're my advisor on all matters magical. But I thought you was in your lair preparing for our great revolution and conquering of the world. What are you doing lazing about my keep unannounced?
And I thought that you were capable of keeping a mutiny from happening in Gangplank. I thought that you were capable of keeping your pet alive. And I thought that you were capable of being the king I need you to be. I, however, am capable of keeping my genie alive. Thus the reason I was able to leave, quelch your mutiny, and stand here in front of you letting you know you now have a safe place to rule. Thanks should be given, and an apology for the blood on my cloak. And I'll sweep my cloak behind me.
okay. So as you're saying this, you have a chance, once you're kind of taking in the sight of the room, you see what Annulin had seen. But a little additional note, beyond the gate, you can see an enormous makeshift perch built into the side of the fortress where you probably assumed that Zaki would land and how Krem would get back to his keep. And you assume that that's probably where the others had taken off on their own flying mounts. You see, get a better look at the throne. And on the back of this wooden throne, you see you see one object. One is a really weathered crown with 3 points, and on the side, either arm of the throne, you see a gaudy goblet on one side, and you see a strange cone-looking device on one of the other sides. And you recognize this because you were there. You recognize this as the voice-amplifying cone that Krem had used in Gangplank. And so it's sitting on the arm of his throne as he sits there. And I need you to make a deception check. And an intimidation.
21 for deception.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 8 for intimidation.
Are you implying that I need Orpheus, my advisor, to quell any rebellions I have my top crocs on it?
I'm implying that it was taken control of with my help, as I believe us to be allies. However, the important thing here is the one thing you cannot control is the death of your pet, which, as you know, I am quite powerful with magic, could potentially be arisen again if I'm feeling kind. But with the way that you are reacting to me, I'm not quite sure that we're on those terms anymore. Interesting, as I believed us to be following the same path.
As soon as you mention that, he looks a little bit inquisitive, and he stands up and he moves about 10 feet closer towards the grate, away from his throne. Both of his weapons are at his side, and he says,
Are you saying you can raise Zaki from the dead?
I'm not saying that Zaki would be the same as Zaki was. Potentially more powerful. Have you met something raised from the dead? They contain abilities the living do not.
Wasn't what that sea bitch what betrayed us did?
That sea bitch is half as powerful as I am. That was a mistaken judgment. I do not believe, however, that my judgment in you is a mistake. I believe you to be the ally that I need.
roll a deception check. And a persuasion.
Deception is 22. Persuasion is 23.
Good enough.
Okay.
Maybe.
He takes another 2 steps closer, 10 feet. He walks another 10 feet.
Well, it's a little bit of a sore spot that you would bring up the death of my precious Zaki. But what do you want? And what do I gotta do to get you back down? Back in your lair, making sure we can get on with our grand plans like you promised me.
The first thing I need is for your minions here to get out of my path so that you and I can have a talk. The second thing that I need is to make sure that you are prepared to handle this and that you have the time. As we all know, kings are busy. But you should be the one to erect the head of Vic the Vicious on a pike in the middle of town. So, we have a discussion on how it should be delivered and how you would like to announce the downfall of what is supposed to be your most challenging rival.
So his eye bulges as soon as you mention Vic the Vicious. And he seems like... Make a deception check and a persuasion check.
23 for
God,
deception.
rolls are good. That's good.
And a 17 for persuasion.
He looks at both of his guards and says,
Okay, you lot, back here.
and the 2 guards turn back to him and nod, and they keep their hands on their blades. What you now see are these curved axes with enormous blades. You see that the blood on Krem's sword, now that you're close enough, that there's still blood, and there is a streak of blood leading to one of the pools, where you probably imagine that Crook that met his end had been thrown in. You still see kind of light disturbances in all of the water, but you can see the occasional rise and fall of scales and tails and the like of creatures. And the guards turn and they walk back.
Can we tell what that grate in the middle is? Is it just a metal grate? Like, it's not a pillar,
It's on
right?
the floor, right?
It's a metal grate, a circular metal grate on the floor. And there seems to be darkness below.
It's just not, as long as it's not a pillar.
It is
It's
not a
that
pillar.
I can, like, run over it.
It's not a pillar. And so Krem looks at you and he says,
Well, come inside, why make yourself comfortable. You've never had any problem barging into my private quarters before.
So I'm going to move forward 10 feet and I'm going to cast Charm Monster on him.
okay, what saving throw is that?
It is a wisdom
This is it.
saving throw, DC 17.
This is the moment of truth.
And you wave your hand and you see
I want to kind of make it look like I'm just flowing my cloak, but
so if he passes, does that mean that If he passes, does that mean that he knows that you've attempted to be charmed? I'd imagine so.
You attempt to charm a creature you can see within range. You must make a wisdom saving throw, and it does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails a saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends, or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature is friendly to you. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. But it doesn't say that if you try and cast the spell, it knows.
I'd imagine if it's resisting it, it would probably realize.
Yeah.
So you subtly cast your hand and say another thing. You kind of whip your cloak, and you feel you kind of see the very subtle glimpses of pink glitter around his eyes, and they kind of gloss over, and his eyeball bulges, and they look like they are glossing over, and then all of a sudden you see his body convulse, and shoves it off using one of his legendary resistances.
Yeah!
And
one down.
And he says, "What is that funny business? What are you trying to do to me, Orpheus?"
I was trying to calm you down so that we could have a chat as friends. You're obviously quite irritated, and I'm not going to lie to you. You're getting on my nerves.
Well, if that's the case, make a deception check at disadvantage.
Natural 1.
Oh,
So it would be 5.
You see King Krem reach a hand for his sword and says, "You look a little short to be Orpheus. He's a puny little piece of shit, but he ain't that small. Who are you and what are you doing before I cut off your head?"
I'm
going to...
TikTok!
At this point, I'm going to shed my illusion.
Yeah, I'm nothing him. I'm running in.
I'm
running. I'm going for it.
I'm Sylvie Flickerwicket, and you can go fuck yourself! And then I want to cast my Eldritch Blast at him.
I'm gonna rush in.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So, as soon as you drop it and you say that, he says, "Warm blood's in my keep. The mutiny isn't
It's more likely than you
that
think.
low. I don't know what the vicious paid you," as he starts to see all of the rest of you coming around through the door. "But it definitely wasn't enough for the agonizing deaths you're about to endure. Come, let me show you why they call me King Krem the Cruel." I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Do I get my Eldritch Blast off first?
You do get an Eldritch Blast.
And can we kind of position ourselves here, or I guess where would we be in the room?
I'll say you can be at the door. Oh, I need to roll.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
So we wouldn't have made it all inside?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So
Can we,
So I'll say that you're all right at the door, and then you can go based on that.
So yeah, let's just, we're all kind of right around here, and then just as we move, just kind of keep that in mind.
Sorry guys. So... Okay, 20 to 25.
Oh, what did I roll?
Sorry, hold on one second, let me roll. I
Oh,
was
sure.
explaining, I was catching somebody up. I got a 27.
Vanders definitely goes first. Who's next? 10 to 15.
15.
18.
Monsters 1. 18 and what?
Thank you, Wiley.
15 from Rodek.
Rodek, Sylvie's 18. King Krem. What did Ganji and Angelin get?
11 for me.
I got a 9.
11 and a 9. Okay. 11 and 9. And I gotta roll for Radley.
Thanks, Wiley. You're awesome.
You guys rock. So as soon as he screams that at you, he draws his sword and his blunderbuss, his magical blunderbuss, and he lunges at you after Sylvie casts 2 Eldritch Blasts.
So one would be 18 plus 8,
Yes.
I believe, and the other one would be 18.
Okay.
Both it? Awesome. So it's 8, 12, 15 damage.
15 damage. So, as soon as you drop it, although he saw you drop it, he was so overcome with this bestial, vicious rage that he wasn't even prepared for you to shoot this tiny little unarmed gnome, for the most part, to shoot these magical blasts at him. And he takes both of them in his abdomen as his red and brown leather coat is stitched together, fly in the wind. And you see that his breastplate, if you remember, is this strange, kind of shimmering multicolor that kind of absorbs some of it, but it seems to do a good amount of damage to him.
Awesome.
And so, with that, it is full round of initiative. Vandus, you're up.
Okay, I am going to use my bonus action to dash, and I want to get to my right of King Krem. So King Krem's left. In between him, nope. Just
Here?
yeah. I don't want to be touching the other guy. So back me up 5 feet.
With
Yeah,
that.
that's perfect right there. Yep. And I'm gonna attack
Okay.
with
Bye, Eliminate All Spam. Thanks for hanging out.
Green Flame Blade.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to roll my normal attack first,
Okay.
and then I have to actually read what Green Flame Blade does. I've only used it like twice. Alright, I found it. Sorry. Okay, so it's upon a successful attack, so I gotta roll for. I got a 28.
That hits.
Well, upon a successful attack, it deals 1d8 fire damage and then jumps to another target within 5 feet, but there are no other targets within 5 feet. So I'm just gonna add 1d8 to my attack.
Okay.
Twenty-six points of damage.
26 points of damage. You sprint up past Sylvie, who's just cast her Eldritch Blast. You whip out Venom's Spine. You channel the only spell that you know, and your blade ignites into this green fire, and you sink your, go around his breastplate, sinking Venom's Spine deep into his abdomen. He lets out this as he looks at you, and he, as soon as you attack him, he burns a little bit, and he swings his sword at you.
Do I have the ability to disengage before he does that with my fancy footwork?
You do.
Then I'd like to back up 3 squares.
Yep, that is not a reaction. It is it's a legendary action. So yeah.
Is that good?
That's good.
Okay.
And I say, thank the gods,
swap
Matthias.
What do you do?
Anyone he attacks, he can step away from without taking opportunity attacks.
Oh, nice.
I can read it quick if you want to hear it.
No, that's good. I'm just curious. That's pretty cool.
So the two lockjaw crooks both pull up their axes, one on either side, protecting King Krem, and they charge forward at Vandris and Sylvie. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they are going to make 2 attacks against each of you with their axes.
Remember, my AC is 14 now.
14?
Yeah.
Okay. One misses, the other hits.
On me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use Misty Escape after it takes the damage.
Okay. That does 10 points of slashing damage.
And, sorry, I'm going to Misty Escape to the throne.
Okay, you disappear into a puff of pink glitter,
Sitting on it?
and you...
I just want to be able to grab his horn that he uses to call for things.
Okay.
So I am going to take that.
Okay.
on my turn,
And then
so.
taunt him from his own throne.
You and then you
Poor guy.
reappear. The puff of pink sand and glitter as you reappear on his throne. And okay, and he looks at you and he glares and then he turns back to the rest of the invaders, and he can't do anything else because of that. Avantris, this other guy is going to do 2 axe attacks on you, and he is going to miss horribly. And can he do anything else? You're at full hit points, right? Yeah. Andy,
What was that?
you're at full hit points. Famous.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So yeah, that's all they can do. And so now, as that happens, the water starts to splash, and he says,
Come on, my pets, what are you waiting for? It's feeding time!
as 6 snapping blue crocodiles emerge from these pools. Oh, shit. 1, 2, and then 3, and then they move immediately. So 1, 2, 3.
Can you camera adjust for us a bit?
That looks good. I think we can see everything.
Isn't that good? So remember, this is the doorway. So this guy wouldn't, just, right?
Oh, so yeah, you're here. Yeah. So they're gonna just basically all try to pile up here.
Okay.
Okay. So that crocodile makes it, and so one is going to attack. What is he going to do here? One is going to just. Each of them are going to try to make a bite attack against Rodek and Ganji, and the one on Rodek does manage to hit, and that is going to deal.
Good start. Good start.
5 points of piercing damage. You're now grappled and restrained, and then once it has you in its huge mouth, these seem to be very strange, mutated-looking creatures, and their heads are absolutely enormous, and their jaws are massive. And then once it has you in its clutches, it's then going to swipe at you with these razor-sharp claws that it has. And that is also going to hit. What?
Was that Rodek or me?
Rodek.
Me.
Rodek. So that's going to be 6 points of slashing damage to you, Rodek.
For the claws?
Yes. Ganji, a bite attack against you. That's going to miss. Claw attack against you. That is going to hit. You take 4 points of slashing damage. And then we'll just do 2 bite attacks against Avantris. Both of those miss. 2 claw attacks against Avantris.
Hi, Derek.
Hey, Derek!
Say true. Say true.
Say true. One of the claws managed to hit you in the back, doing a tons of damage. It's a crit. Crits you. Crits you.
Uncanny dodge.
11 points of slashing damage halved. Say true. Can we just say that?
Yeah.
And that is their turn. The other two can't do anything. And with that, it is Sylvie's turn.
I am going to use my object interaction to take the
Okay.
horn, and I want to
Pick
just
up
stick
the
it in my
horn
little.
and
my
shove
bag.
it into your pack with your free object interaction.
I am then going to use my ring
Okay.
to cast the only spell that's left in it, which is Fairy Fire on King Crown.
Okay. And I gotta make what save?
A Dex.
Dex. He gets a 21.
Yeah, no,
That'll
no.
do.
So, as you the puff of pink sand falls, or rather a glowing fairy fire kind of swarms around, you can see that he is not he's a pretty hefty guy, but he's surprisingly quick. But even with that, you can kind of see that there is a bounce and a resistance on his breastplate, as if it's kind of affecting, making him pretty resistant to magic.
That's advantage.
Good job, Rich. And with that, anything else?
Sage
Rodek?
Are you done?
You're good?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
Rodek, you're up.
Get off you! And I attack the one that is...
Restrained and grappled, you can still attack, right? Restrained?
Grapple means he can take me along, restrain means I can't move.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to swing down on the one that's got me by the old leg
Okay.
Ooh, 8, 9, 10, 11.
That misses.
I will attack again.
Okay.
21.
That does hit.
11 plus 5 is 16 damage.
Your axe comes down onto its head, splits its head, and he just dies. Can you just pull him off the map?
Woo! I want to step out one.
Okay.
And so would he be here or here?
He'd be there.
Okay. I am going to... I'm going to take one more step this way.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn to this guy, number 5, and attack him.
You can get 3 attacks.
Bonus action because I killed him.
Oh,
right?
that's right.
So bonus action to attack.
Oh,
A lot. And I guess I'll roll. More than damage.
Your axe once again slices down into the back of its head. He falls to the ground dead.
And then I think I'm dead there.
Okay.
I want to like stare this guy straight in the eyes though, with my axe, just to kind of like try to get his attention.
Okay. And with that, yeah, I think he'll. With that, Road, after you go, you see him press his the back of his blunderbuss. If you remember, there's a large gemstone, emerald-looking gemstone in the back of his blunderbuss, and it turns to this bright orange color, and flames start to shoot out. He points it behind him and points at the line of you. Says, "You mutineers!" And he points behind him and he starts thrusting forward at you. And that is going to be. Hold on.
Thanks for stopping by, Wiley.
Thank you, Wiley.
Really
Have a good
appreciate
night.
it. Have a good night.
Oh,
I
sorry.
like the cool with the K.
Okay, so he is going to go here, and I need Vandris and Rodak to make a dex saving throw.
Dex, you say?
No. 6.
6. Vandris?
25!
25. Vandris, you dodge out of the way of this massive frame that's being thrustered forward at you. But Rodak, he's flying at you. He slams into you with his body slam, and it deals, what does it deal? Oh, god damn it, horrible. 12 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are knocked prone. You fall to the ground.
Just where I am?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just remember that.
You would have been pushed outside, but he ended right there. And with that, it's his turn. And so he looks around and he pulls out
Real
his...
quick, would my heavy armor master reduce that by 3?
Yes. With that, he is...
It's true though. That's honestly one of the best things about having a beard.
So
That's what I would do if I
with
had a
that, he takes his sword and you can kind of see the gems in the crocodile skull, almost like glowing, and he slices both at Vandris and at Rodak. And he is going to, we're going to do the attack on Vandris. That is going to be a 17.
Yes.
That hits.
17.
Hey,
Oh, thank you,
TikToks,
TikToks.
thank you for the tower. I love you
Tower.
guys.
Thank you for the hose.
The raid
The
hose.
raid.
The raid.
And the
Oh my
hose.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
You guys are so
You
great.
take 9 points of
you.
slashing
We're in
damage.
a boss battle right now.
Yeah, level set once you're done. Level set for the new people.
I
Was that-
can't dodge it, so I'm taking all.
9 points of slashing damage, and you now have 1 level of wounds on you. And every
What the hell does that
every
mean?
turn on your turn, you're going to take 1d4 necrotic damage, and then you get to make a save after you take damage. And so
It's just level 1 wounds?
one level of wounds. Rodek.
Real quick, I want to use my reaction to make a
Okay.
to make an attack on him with Sentinel. 10. 10.
You swing and you miss after being knocked down. You're prone. Is that disadvantage? So are we level setting for this? We are having a boss fight with a giant crocodile pirate king.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's basically craziness is happening.
He's got a big blunderbuss and a sword, a magical
And
blunderbuss.
he's summoning little
gunpowder.
crocodiles out of the water to come and attack us.
Very Donkey Kong Country.
And the blunderbuss also acts as a rocket booster, if you're curious.
His sword misses you, Rhoda, but then he takes his blunderbuss and he points behind him at Sylvie and presses the trigger as he taps it a few times, and he is going to make it. Let's see what color this is going to be.
Oh boy.
He's going to make it a bright purple color, and he is going to fire, and this puff of magical energy shoots at your direction, and that is going to hit. You are going to take 9 points of thunder damage, and make a whiz saving throw, please.
Is it against magic?
Does that count as a spell or a magical effect? We'll say it's a magical effect, so that's fine.
Yes, because it's just my gnome thing is that I
Yeah, that's fine.
have
It's a magical effect
advantage.
for now. I should look in them if it's not spells.
Well, I mean, it probably doesn't matter. You said charisma?
Whiz.
Whiz. Oh, yeah, no, it really doesn't matter, I don't think. 8?
The blast of magical energy hits you, and you get kind of hit back against the throne, and all of a sudden you feel your eyes get wide as all of a sudden you are affected by the confusion spell until King Krem's next turn.
Okay.
And
I
then
don't know
he,
how that works, but you can help me.
I will. Yeah, when it's your turn. And then he points through the door and says, "You, Scaly!" And he points at you and pulls the trigger after tapping it, and that is going to. That is going to be a yellow gem that comes out, and that is going to miss. You kind of raise up your shield and you block this yellow blast of magic. And with that, that is his turn. And so that will be Gaby's turn.
Alright, so I'm going to move into the doorway.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
And I'm going to Lightning Breath these 2 crocodiles and King Krem.
Okay.
So that's a dex save for all of them.
Okay. Is this against magic? No, it's not. Dragon Breath is not magic. A dex saving throw for they both got 14 and 15.
15 passes. Wait, actually, let me check that.
No, you should be.
14 fails. Well, it's not a spell.
King Krem got a 14.
King Krem fails.
Okay.
The other guys, I think they pass, which means
Oh,
they
no,
take that.
never mind. 11. They got 11.
Then yeah, then they all fail.
Okay.
So that's 3d6 lightning damage.
Okay.
Rick TikToks is 4 players.
That's 9 lightning damage to all of them.
9 lightning damage. So you see the lightning surge through the bodies of these crocodiles that are still wet. As it conducts it, they are fried to a corpse immediately. You see it catch King Krem's scales. It goes in. As it does. How much damage again? 9?
9.
9. Okay.
And then I'm going to move out with the rest of my movement.
Okay.
And move around to here.
Okay. And so, before you did that, you said a prayer to Bahamut, and once again, that draconic angel appears above in that platinum light and is just blasting everything around you with this beautiful, but almost like awe-inspiring, painful platinum light. And then with that, he is going to say, "Oh, no, you don't!" And then he's going to use his last legendary action of the round to make an attack on Uganji with his cleaver, and that will hit. And that is going to deal 11 points of slashing damage, and you have 1 rank of wounds.
Okay.
Okay. Annulin, you're up.
Finally. God. Okay, is it reasonable that I would be able to kind of go through the door and like sneak between the door corner and Rodek without coming into contact with King Crumb?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna move in there. Yeah, let's do that. I am going to cast my Hunter's Mark with my bonus action on King Kren. And then I'm going to reach into my little satchel at my side and pull out my 2 golden lions and say, kitties, kill them right now.
Okay.
Kill them right now.
Yeah. You throw, I should have printed tokens for this, but you throw the 2 figurines and 2 lions emerge. And what's the cooldown on that? It's not 7 days. Definitely been long enough, right?
It's 4 to 7 days. So, I last used it in the water temple.
Yeah, it has not been 7 days since that, so you can use the one that you didn't use there.
Do you want to use the Minotaur?
No, I actually have.
It's been 7 days since that?
No.
It's been like 5 or 6.
It's almost there.
Well, I'll just use one. That's fine.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to throw him. I can throw him up to 60 feet.
Yep.
So I'm going to throw him. I'm trying to count that. I'm going to throw him like behind this little guy, 30 feet or so behind him. And does he get to take his turn now?
What was that? Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he moves on your initiative.
So he's going to. I'm gonna. Does anybody remember my lion's name that I had?
No.
We can go back and check.
We can go back and check, but
I'm gonna have to go back and check.
We'll fix
but
it.
anyway, so I'm gonna call to my lion and say attack him, and he's gonna run up and do a pounce attack.
Ooh.
So
that
he's gonna run at least 20 feet and then make the claw attack.
you chuck your figurine, it turns into that snarling, whitish, goldish lion. As standing, you are connected with it on a psychological level, a psychic level immediately, and it is thirsty for crocodile blood, and it pounces.
Okay, that was an 8 to hit on the claw attack.
8 to hit, that misses, unfortunately. So it pounces, and the guard manages to dodge out of the way.
Thanks for the follows, guys. I don't know why our
thanks,
alerts
guys,
aren't
if you're
working.
following. We love you guys.
Thank you. That's really nice.
I'm gonna try to fix that.
Yeah, we'll try to fix that. Sorry, we're not getting alerted, but we love
Yeah,
you
it's
guys.
not going budding, budding.
Okay, Annulin. Was that a bonus action or a full action? What was that?
The lion is throwing the lion's in action, and my bonus was casting on them, so I'm done.
Okay, sounds good.
Rattling.
That lady says, "Oh, okay, I'll get out of here." And he is going to basically stay in the hallway and shoot at number 2. And yeah, right there. And he's going to basically try to hide around the corner and not let King Krem see him. And he is going to hit. Okay. The bolt sinks into the guard's chest, dealing a bit of damage here. And he's like, and he has his big axe, and he's ready to. Okay, Avantris, you're up.
Okay, let's take a look here. Alright, so. Ooh. I'm just gonna turn around and stab King Graham in the back.
Okay.
24.
That'll hit.
Good roll, I got 28 points of damage.
28 points of damage as he's distracted trying to hit Ganji. Did I make my attack against you? With
Yeah.
my sword? Okay, it hit. Can you take 1d4 necrotic damage for me real quick though?
Yes, I can.
As you feel this this cursed wound seep into your flesh from the blade, you get a little bit of damage, but then you steel yourself and stab your rapier as he's distracted by trying to attack Rodek and Ganji. And it gets in his back, it rips through his coat, and does 28 points of fucking damage. Okay. And make a con saving throw, I believe.
Alright. 22.
22. You feel the cursed wound leave your body as you kind of force it out with your sheer
I'm
willpower.
on fire.
All the reactions are going over this. Okay. With that, the guard is going to just look at the lion, and it's going to just run at Rodek, just because it doesn't really know what to think of this lion. And
does the lion get opportunity attacks?
It does. Opportunity attack, anyone?
If you choose.
If you choose.
Another 8.
Another 8. It misses, and it is coming in fast as it's looking pretty rough. And
I'm prone.
What's your
I'm
prone?
prone.
Advantage?
I'm prone.
It had advantage anyway. That is a 17.
No.
Okay.
Woo! Thanks for plate.
And that one fucking misses. Swings. Just missing. This one is going to attack Avantris. And that's going to be a miss on the first axe. And that is going to be a natural 20. As it catches you in the back. 2 creds this fight.
Like kitty dodge!
Okay. And that is going to deal a nice hot... 4, 12, 13. 16 points of slashing damage as the axe catches you in the back with a huge crit. So 8, because you're in candy dodge.
Thank you for the follow, Aeon Flux G.
Oh, thank you, Aeon
Thank
Flux
you.
G.
That's
And our
amazing.
alerts are working. Thanks for following, guys. Really appreciate it.
With that, hold on. What are these layer actions now?
Oh,
We'll have the 2 crocs make their attacks. One against Ganji, one against Vandris. Vandris is having a rough time of it. Bite is going to miss on Vandris, and the claws are going to miss on Vandris. Ganji, let's see what we got. Ganji, we have a nice clean 19.
Fails.
Okay.
Nice.
We have a nice clean claw attack that definitely fails. You're just kind of holding up your shield with this gator trying to get at you like a fucking rabid dog. And so with that, he is going to he says, okay, now's the time to do it. And he shoots a puff of energy up into the ceiling, and all of a sudden you hear as stuff is rolling around up in the ceiling above. And I am going to need...
Yep. I knew it.
I'm going to need Ganji, Annulin, and Rodek to roll dex saving throws. As the chutes open in the ceiling, and these heavy metal balls fall down onto the ceiling.
15.
15?
What are we making again? I'm sorry.
Dex saving throws.
Hey Z, welcome back. We are fighting the basically big bad of this specific arc.
Kind of.
It's a crocodile pirate king guy. So he's
17.
17, you pass.
13.
13. Okay, so
I guess I don't
15
pass.
for me. Did
So-
the 15 pass?
Annulin, it did not. So, Annulin, you manage to dodge out of the way as these huge black iron balls fall from the ceiling. You try to dodge out of the way. What?
I'm disadvantaged anyway because I'm prone.
As they slam into you, Annulin, you manage to
Probably.
dodge out of the way here, and then they bounce down as these huge iron balls fall onto the ceiling. You are both of you are going to take 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're not prone. Okay, Sylvia, you're up.
okay. I am going to use my bonus action, and I did roll to make sure that all those hits I took, I kept my concentration on
Okay.
it. I'm going to transfer Hex to,
Oh, for confusion, you need to roll a d10 for me.
Alright.
oh,
You're confused.
yeah, this is a D10. A 1?
A 1. You must move in a random direction. You must spend the turn using your full movement. You get filled with this pit of fear, and you have to use all of your direction moving south directly towards the fight.
Okay, cool. Move me. I'm 25.
Oh, right. You're the
Okay.
one.
And that is
So I still get to do stuff?
do you? Hold on. No, all movement in a random direction. So you should
Unless
be
it
able
says
to,
otherwise,
yeah,
it'll
you should
just...
be able to use your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so then as my bonus action, I am going to, saying that Rodek's literally getting like the shit kicked out of him. I'm gonna look
That's what I
at him
do.
and I'm gonna say,
Oh,
I'm not really good at poems, but this is one for you. Kill these alligators, we'll put them in a stew, and I'm going to fill you with bardic inspiration.
Woo!
The song is inspiring as you feel the arcane energy empower you.
And then I'm going to use my attack to cast. So I put. Yeah, because I didn't transfer Hex because I decided to bardic inspiration with my bonus action. So I'm gonna cast on the number 1 weird guy with the eyeball in front of Avantris, an Eldritch Blast. So that would be 17 to hit.
17 hit, that hits.
For 7 damage.
Okay, 7 points of damage.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna cast it on him again.
On what number?
The one in front of Avantris, I think it's number 1.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be 20 to hit.
That hits.
And that's going to be 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Both of your arcs of your glitter lance smash into him. The first time that he's been wounded at all, you see kind of his cloak is burning away along with his flesh. He's still taking it easy. This cold, just kind of a contrast to King Krem's just animalistic rage. These are very cold, murderous creatures here. Rodek, you're up.
So I'm prone.
Yep.
I would like to stand up. And looking between the cannonball, the crocodile, and the... So basically, is the cannonball like impassable?
No, it's not necessarily impassable. It is still able to roll. You just basically need to use double your movement to get onto its space, and then it'll roll in whatever direction.
Is it heavy enough where, like, could I give it a tap with my free object interaction and send it at that guy, or...
It would probably not that.
They're like that heavy?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're pretty heavy.
So I'm just going to stand, and I'll brush myself off, and I'm just going to do one attack against this guy here.
Okay.
I'll make it a power attack.
Okay.
13. Can I add Bardic Inspiration to an attack roll? Or is it only damage?
Let me look it up. Because I don't actually remember.
She just multi-classed, so. Badger! Hey,
Hey,
Badger!
Badger!
Attack roll.
It's a boss fight.
Ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
There you go. It's not damaged at all. You idiot.
18.
18 to hit, that does hit.
Okay. So he has to make a strength saving throw, be knocked prone.
Did you use it, your Bardic Inspiration?
I did.
Oh,
He fails.
Okay, he's prone.
Okay.
That's going to be confusing.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I
Yeah,
flipped him. Why did I
Fine.
flip him?
He takes, how much damage did he take?
Let me roll it real quick.
Your axe swings into
Roll
him,
that.
and you get him down in the hip, and he collapses forward.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 31 damage.
31 damage?
31 damage, yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Uh,
It's so forceful, it just gets him in the hip, and it collapses.
And I would like to use a power attack.
Okay.
21 hits. Nice. 10, 15, 25 damage.
25 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. You after knocking down, you come back, you sink your axe into his back, blood is splurting out. He looks like he's barely hanging on to life, as blood is pouring out of all of these wounds that you're inflicting on him.
Can I use my bonus action to spit on him?
Yeah, sure. Spit on him.
I don't know. I have used my bonus action. I would like to use second range to heal.
Okay. You steal yourself and you heal a little bit.
Never cross your fingers. You're a woman.
It's not healing.
I'm healing. Better than nothing, right?
With that, he points his blunderbuss and says, "Okay, little Elfie, dodge this!" And he fires the energy blast at Annulin. After he makes the It turns this bright blue color, this like really icy blue, and it fires this blue blast of energy at you. And it's going to do, I'm going to actually officially roll. That is going to definitely hit. And you are going to, you feel this icy chill hit you as, what's the additional? You take 15 points of frost damage. And you feel so cold that you're on your next turn you're going to lose half of your movement. And then he is going to point the blunderbuss right at Ganji, and he says, "Okay, one," and he is after making it purple, and that is going to hit. And it is going to deal. I need you to make a whiz saving. Oh my god, Annulin. I'm sorry. You need to make a dex saving throw before you take that damage. Ooh, I apologize. Wow. 12. You still take the full damage. You try to dodge and an icy blast hits you.
Thank you,
With
Jay
Saber?
Spindle. Have
Yes.
a good night.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
Appreciate
stopping by,
it.
man.
9.
9. You feel confusion rush over you as you take 11 points of thunder damage as it blasts right in your face.
Do I get to roll ever to get rid of confusion?
No, it's
Does
gone.
that work?
It's gone.
Oh, it's gone already?
Yeah, it's his turn. So your
Oh,
confusion.
okay.
So it's until his next turn.
Gotcha.
So and with that, he's going to once again swing his cutlass back at Rodek and once at Vandris. And at Rodek, he's going to get a natural 20 on the cutlass. Wow, I'm rolling hot 20s tonight, guys. You're all going to die.
Never. I'm literally never scared.
Misaki would be so happy.
She said for the last.
No, no.
18 points of slashing damage to you, Rodek. And Vandris. And you take 1 rank of wounds. And Vandris, you are able to dodge out of the way of the sword. And he goes, "That's what you get for invading my private quarters, you warm bloods." And with that, it is Ganji's turn. His legendary actions refresh. You need to keep that in mind.
Okay. So I roll a d10.
Okay, yep.
Oh, and I also take damage, right? From
1d4.
1d4.
And you make a con saving throw afterwards.
Okay. 4 damage from that.
4
That's
damage.
fun.
Necrotic.
Didn't pass anything that that was because it's only 7. It's a 7 on the d10 for the confusion.
Oh, for the confusion, 7. You must make a melee attack versus a random creature in its reach, and so I
It's
will.
either Krem or a crocodile.
I will roll a d6
Or
for you,
Rodek, technically. Well,
He's
no,
not
it's
Rodek.
and that will be on King Crown.
Okay.
Wait, did that guy was that guy supposed to die from fire on his turn on the lair action
What?
from your guardians, the little crocodile?
No, I lost Guardians a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So the guardians went away.
Yeah.
So
You cast Guardians?
And, my
Shit.
first
Your
action.
guardian.
And then when he attacked me with his
Oh,
legendary
lost
action,
it.
I lost on
so you're attacking King Crown.
Okay. 17 plus stuff.
Hits.
So at least I do some damage this round. I'm gonna die next round though. 8 plus 3 is 11.
11? Okay. 11 points of damage as Molly's mouth lights up in that golden light, and you swing your mace, and it smashes into his side. You hear a crunch.
And can I do anything else?
You can just use, you just need to make a melee attack. Anything else you can do, you use your attack action. So,
Okay. Well, considering I'm at 17, and what's everyone else look? Is anyone else bloodied on our team?
I'm fine.
Not quite. I'm approaching, but not quite.
Daniel, are
I
you
think I
bloodied?
got some wounds, but I'm kicking.
Okay.
Just focus on yourself, dude. Just...
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself.
okay.
Would have dodged, but I can't do that. That's it.
Okay. You feel that shimmering platinum light. And you see him tap his blunderbuss a few times, and it's this white glowing light on the emerald gem. And he says, "Okay," and all of a sudden starts sucking in all sorts of air, and you all and Ratley, Rodek, and Annulin are going to need to make, it's a cone, Ratley, Rodek, and Annulin are going to need to make strength saving throws.
Ooh, that's better. 16.
16?
I rolled a 1, so that gives me a 9.
So, as
No.
you're...
A 6.
A 6. Both of you are trying to grab onto something, and it's too late. You are sucked into this blunderbuss. All of a sudden, you start to feel, as soon as you kind of pass into the side, you get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you get sucked up into the blunderbuss. Everything goes dark very quickly, and he goes, and he shoots both of you. He is going to shoot Annulin directly at Sylvie.
What the hell is happening?
Holy shit.
Sylvie, I need you to make a dex saving throw for me.
19.
19. You manage to dodge out of the way, and you land with a thud next to her. And I don't think you take any damage though. No, you don't.
Wow, that's lucky.
So you land. Sylvie dodges out of the way. You land next to her, not taking any damage.
That is the best case scenario for rolling a 1.
Hi, cutie. What's up?
Rodek, you are going to be shot. Shot right here. Okay. And then you hit the wall, and you are going to take. Let's see what you take here. I think I know what this is.
So I take damage?
Yep. You hit a
wall.
You hit a wall. 12 points of bludgeoning damage, and once again you're knocked prone.
Does my armor protect against that?
Yeah. Okay. Whose turn? Annulin, your turn, right?
Okay, so I'm not prone or anything, right? I just...
You are prone. You're not prone, and you have half of your movement. So you basically could stand up, and you have no movement left.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up. Is it reasonable to say that I'm, like, close to in proximity to my line? Within 5 feet of my line?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to make 2 arrow attacks on Krim.
Oh, and Ratley made the strength saving throw. He grabbed onto something. Onto the door frame.
I got another 20.
Oh!
Hey, girl,
And a 23.
23. Okay, after you both hit, after you have been sucked into a cannon magically and fired back out, you stand up and you are pissed. You are ready to take this fucker down.
Alright, so I'm going... Wait 1 second to roll all this. I'm going to do the crit first.
Okay.
He's damaged, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
No, Amy's been doing a damage to him.
Oh, that's right.
And
I
from my
did some
legs.
damage.
Smoke in this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we put some damage on him.
Have faith in Vandris.
I don't think we're smoking him.
Vote
but
for
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
so
I wouldn't
we've
go.
done a
I
little
have
bit.
probably almost 60 points total.
Okay, so that's 33 damage
Okay, the crit.
for the crit, and I'm going to roll the second one.
It goes into his neck. He rips it out, and blood is spurting everywhere. His bulging eye is bulging even more, just terrifically. 30 points of damage, you said?
33, and then my second attack, which hit, I'm going to aim specifically at his hand holding the, like, blunderbuss?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Blunderbuss.
Blunderbuss.
That's gonna be 18 damage.
18 damage. It sinks into his hand. It's like, "Argh!" and you still manage to hold on to it. But it sinks into his hand. You kind of hear a loud crack as it seems to hit a bone. 18. Jesus Christ.
And then my lion for his turn is going to run up next to Avantris and make a pounce attack on Kren.
Okay. You commune with it and it starts charging. Its fangs are snarling.
Oh, sorry.
No, at number 1, right?
I thought you said King
She
Crest.
Oh,
said
King Kren.
Kren.
Oh.
King Kren, yeah.
sorry.
And actually, yeah, why not? And it'll have advantage because Avantris is an ally of attack tactics.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, 22 to hit.
22 to hit, that hits. Welcome, Pro Gamer. It's good to see you come enjoy our severe nerdiness.
So that's a big 6 damage for the old lion.
A hot damage, his claws sink in. He's like, "Ah, kitty cat, I hate cats!" And 6 damage, his claws sink in. Kitty's got claws! Okay.
And that's the end.
Okay. You've sunk your arrows in, your lion even got an attack on him, and so it's Ratley's turn. And he sees Krem just going fucking nuts after, he's like, and he kind of hides back in the door frame. Could you push him a little bit back, a little bit over? No, to the right. Bam. And he's gonna keep going on number 2, who is still prone.
He's still prone.
Still prone.
So disadvantage.
Okay, let's hope we get this.
And he does. And this is number 1. This is number 2. Oh, he's barely been damaged, right? Wait a minute.
No, Rodex should have done a bunch of damage to him.
He's,
right?
he's almost dead.
Yeah.
And it fires in. Although he's on the ground, it's harder to hit. It sinks into his eyeball. He lets out, and blood spurts out, and he collapses onto the ground dead.
Nice.
Okay. With that, it is kind of use all his legendary actions. Vandus, you're up.
Alright, I am going to keep attacking King Krem.
Okay.
$25, that was a close one.
That hits.
Hold on. $31 points of damage.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
That was close to max.
After dodging out of the way of his sword the one time, you manage to find a weak spot right beneath his arm, and you sink your rapier deep in, and it stabs into it.
And I
spits
shout,
up blood.
tell us where Orpheus is!
I'm just gonna kill you and I'll tell you when you're fucking dead.
And with that, it's Monsters 1's turn, and he is going to go and enjoy 2 attacks on Vandus. He's going to stay there, and he sees King Vandus attacking 2 axe attacks. And one's going to miss, one is going to hit.
I'll use my uncanny dodge.
Okay. $11 points of slashing damage as the one axe hits you. And that's it.
We are level 8, Valkar 99.
Yes, 8.
2.5
I don't know
years
if
in.
that reads.
That looks like 8.
So the 2 crocs are going to go 1 for 2 bite attacks, 1 on Ganji and 1 on Vandris.
It has to make a wit saving throw
Oh.
for me.
He's going to fail.
Alright, he
He
doesn't
took-
get to attack me.
He's kind of like bouncing against a platinum shield. He's not able to attack. And then the bite attack against Vandris, that is also going to hit.
I'm taking the full time damage this time.
Okay. 8 points of piercing damage, and you're grappled, and now he's advantaged. He has a better grasp on you to swipe its claws.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just reading this thing real quick.
Uh-oh.
Before the outcome is determined, it's too late.
Okay, well, he's swiping at
I
you
take
now.
it.
You take it, and now he's swiping at you, and I'm rolling.
I'm already grappled. It's fine.
Okay, and he manages to slice at you as well, dealing 6 points of slashing damage.
Alright.
Okay, you are currently in its jaws, grappled and restrained. And he's clawing at you. Okay. And with that, it is a layer action again. And so he is going to... he taps at this crystal again. And it's this deep blue color. And the mouth of the blunderbuss starts to crackle. And points, he shoots at the ceiling or at the wall right next to you, Rodek, and there's a large node of crackling energy, and then he points next to Sylvie, and a large crackling node, and they connect, and lightning arcs across the entire way, and I need everyone to please make, if I can find it,
I hope it's Constitution.
I need a spark arc. Okay, here we go. Deck saving throw.
If I'm prone,
Everyone?
am I disadvantaged?
Annulin, Sylvie, and Rodek.
Can you see if I'm prone? Does it make me disadvantaged on deck saving throws?
I imagine so.
We're really good with rules.
I had
No.
the
2.5 years, and we're really good with rules.
You're not disadvantaged.
Oh, great.
Yeah, wow.
You can roll out of the way.
You can roll out of the way, yeah.
Okay.
12, okay, fail.
There you go.
Yeah. You have a disadvantage on attack rolls.
21.
14? So, Rodek, you managed to roll out of the way, but Annulin and Sylvie, you notice too late as you both get zapped, and you are going to take... where is... 12 points of lightning damage, and your speed is now 0 until the beginning of your next turn. As you're fried and you feel your muscles lock up. You're able to act, you just can't, you have 0 movement. Okay, that is layer action turn. Sylvia, you're up.
Okay, I am going to use my bonus action to look at Ganji and say, Bahamut's not dead, he's surely alive, roaring like this lion. Something. And then I'm going to give him Bardic Inspiration.
That's good.
And
The lion's name is now Bahamut Jr.
Love it. I
And
approve.
then I am going to look at him again, and using one of my packed magic slots, I'm going to send Lumi at Ganji.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast through Lumi, Cure Wounds at 4th level.
Okay. Do we want to originally grab Lumi? Or try to grab it?
I got it.
Okay.
So can you count that for me?
Lumi zips over invisible.
Can she reach
12.
here?
She's a tiny pixie. She can just.
Oh, that's an 8.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just want
nice.
to know kind of vaguely where
Wow.
she
Yeah.
is.
8
Put her behind me.
7 is
Just
15.
so she's not in the way.
But that's
But she's in the room.
She's on top of
Right.
it. What?
And then
plus 4.
Yeah.
So 29 damage. 29
Nice!
health.
Holy!
got.
Wow. So
Nice shot.
Ganji
Thank
is
you.
incredibly wounded, he's cornered and he is bloody and fucked up.
I
All of
was
a
down
sudden,
to 17 before that.
He feels a tiny little invisible hand. She says invisible,
Yeah.
right? An invisible hand touch him. All of a sudden, you feel this strange eldritch magic flow through you as your wounds start to close up, and you hear the little fluttering of wings, and you know it to be Lumi above you. As she touches you, she boops you on the nose. Okay. And that's your turn.
That's,
Okay.
yeah, that's my
Yeah.
turn.
Rhoda, you're up.
I stand up yet again for the 3rd time this fight. I stagger 1, 2.5. I pull in my bag, I pull out this yellow diamond, and I say, knock down this! And I shatter it on the ground, and from the shatter, this massive earth elemental erupts from the gem. He's gonna be some kind of large creature.
Yeah. So I should have had.
Do you want Moth? He's still over
You
here.
know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I
Moth
think.
is perfect.
This is a crocodile. You don't want. Yeah.
Here we go, Moth, the Minotaur. Can he be like on? Would he be able to like knock this out?
I
of the
would
way?
say his summoning would knock both of those. And so I'll move
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
I'll
roll
move
them.
them.
However,
It knocks into this corner, and then this knocks like over here. It starts rolling out of the way. So
I need to roll initiative for it.
yes,
Real bad. I'll put
you have your little sheet with the elemental.
Yep.
Okay.
That's just I'm using the mouse manual, but it is so his dex is -1, so a 3.
A 3 is
Yeah.
okay. So he's after Ratman.
Yeah, he's last.
Wow. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. This is
We're gonna have Lumi because you're
This
this
is
is
fire.
initiative for Lumi, so I'm going to put Lumi as
That's
the
actually-
outward element.
fire and water. You heard?
I do somewhere. So let me just.
Oh, yeah. I'll
So
find it.
after you dust yourself
Do you
off, you
feel that?
hold the yellow diamond, you throw it down, you hear that, and all of a sudden, this swirling, almost from the remnants of the crystal, as it almost feels like Earth is ripping out of the stones. As he kind of pulls up these bricks, and then before you is a large earth elemental with some of the stones of the fortress kind of embedded in its body, these deep holes for eyes, and it is
Incredible.
obeying your command.
One second.
That's
Let's
your
make
action?
sure that range is fine. It's Conjure Elemental.
Here.
You got it. Conjure Woodland. I got it here. So the range 90 feet, but I have to shatter it. Never mind. That's fine. I think logically that makes sense.
Okay.
Just you threw it down and it smashed.
Yeah.
Okay. Just use monster manual for now.
Yep,
I'll look.
that's
Okay.
fine. I got it.
Okay. With that, it is King Crim.
Bonus action to pop a pop.
Okay. You drink it. You start to feel some of your wounds close up a little bit.
Is it 44?
Yeah.
3.
3,
6.
4.
10. 13 plus 4 is 17.
Nice.
We use giant D4s here, guys.
That's amazing.
Okay. With that, yeah, sorry, Rich. Nikki, the sheets are next to you if you want to grab those. Earth Elemental should be on there. Okay,
I'll find
so it is King Krem's turn. He says, "I'm not afraid of your little beds," and with that, he is going to once again fire his blunderbuss at Annulin, who's blocking Sylvie, after tapping his and firing a purple blast at Annulin, and that is going to 16. Is that it?
Hello, fuzzy
17.
squirrel.
17.
Well
You
done.
dodge out of the way just barely. Sylvie has to kind of duck too as it flies over her head, and sorry about that. And then he's going to point at the Earth Elemental, and he's trying to point at Rodnak, and he's going to pull the trigger, and it is going to get a natural 1, and you see as it turns to the icy blue, and it kind of blows up in his barrel, and it kind of his face gets frosty, and he goes, and he blanks, and he gets rid of the frost off of his eyes, and he's pissed, and so he is going to say, "Okay, now I'm angry," and he's going to swing at Ganji.
With save.
Whiz save. Okay, that's good. I will whiz save it. Great. That's a 12.
That fails.
Okay, so he's able to redirect it though, right?
Yes.
So he redirects his attack to Avantris.
Sorry, Vandris.
Ah, son of a gun.
When I did that, I was at 17 HP, okay?
And he misses Vandris.
See?
And
Thanks for the follow. Thank you.
and then he comes back around at Vandris.
Damn it.
And he does hit.
Fudge.
Sorry. 9 points of slashing damage, and you have rank 1 wounds again.
Son of a gun.
Oh, I didn't take.
Do wounds go away if you're healed?
No, you need to either do a medicine check, use your action on a medicine check, or pass the con saving throw. You
Okay.
passed the con saving throw, you did, right?
I failed it. I rolled like I got a 7.
Okay, so you're still wounded.
I
Yeah.
got a 17 on the con saving throw.
17, you managed to purge the wounds from you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I still have to do it on my turn.
So I took the damage.
Right, Badger.
What was the GIF? I missed it. Anyway, go ahead. You'll find it. Yeah.
And he did 2 blunderbusses and 2 swords, and so that's his turn. Okay, Ganji, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to take damage. 4 damage again.
Necrotic. You feel the wound kind of seeping into you.
I'm going to roll save against it. That's going to be a 14.
It does not pass. This is the wounds continue, the necrotic wound still.
Okay.
seeping into you.
I am. I want to burn another spell slot. Yeah, fuck it. I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
It is going to appear on. It doesn't take up a slot, so it doesn't take up like a spot. So can I have it be on top of the ball, the black ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
It appears above the huge metal ball.
And it's going to attack the little guy, number 3.
Okay. It swings down directly overhead onto the crook cop.
15 plus a bunch.
That hits. Roll damage.
And question.
Yes.
Does this count as a weapon attack for my thing, which lets me roll an extra d8? Would you say?
What's the extra d8?
So it's a war cleric feature. When I make a weapon attack, my weapon does an extra d8 damage. But does this count as a weapon?
I would say for now it does. This
Okay.
weapon. If it's not, we can say that it doesn't later. But
Okay.
for now it's fine.
So that's going to be 5 plus. That's 8 force damage.
8 force damage. It swings down. It caves its skull in and collapses down. Please put it with the rest of the tokens.
Sure.
They're small enough you can kind of kick them aside.
And then I am going to make my attack. Yeah, I'm going to make my attack against King Crab.
Okay.
That's 15.
15. That misses.
Dang.
It clangs against this loud metal reverberation as it hits his breastplate, and he laughs. Okay, my turn. He uses one of his legendary actions to swing at you, and that is going to miss. As bounces off of his shield, his attack bounces off of your shield.
Oh, right. Shit. I should have used that. I'm sorry.
For what?
I forgot that I had
It might be
inspiration.
better for like a saving throw or something. Yeah.
That's kind of
Okay,
what I'm
fine.
thinking.
Ganji. So he's
I'm
one
just
legendary
putting
action
this in
down.
front of
No,
me.
and
It's
it's
thank
very
up.
silly,
No.
and I hope it'll remind me.
Definitely. Thank you.
How's King Crumb looking?
He's looking pretty good.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
unfortunate.
We'll see in a bit for Fuzzy Squirrel.
I'm
once he's
going
done by.
to make 2 arrow attacks on him.
Okay.
A 15 and a 21.
15 and a 21. 15 misses, 21 hits.
Damage.
25 damage. Both the one arrow bounces off of his armor. The other one kind of sinks in, finds a weak point. It does a considerable amount of damage. The amulet is just laying into him. Okay.
My lion is going to make a plate attack.
Okay. And he's gonna go. He's gonna bite.
It's 11.
11. It misses. It's kind of just coming to this. It's still getting its bearings. Okay.
I'm actually going to back, use my movement and back away, towards the throne.
Okay. Rishi.
My
Movement towards the throne.
Oh, sorry. The full movement?
Sure.
many feet is that?
She has like 7.
You have 35, right?
Yeah, she has 35.
Yeah, so you can get here. Easy. Do you want to stand on top of the throne?
Hey, do I have any movement restrictions from anything?
Oh, you can't. She can't. The lightning thing.
Oh, the lightning thing. You have 0 speed. You can't move it.
Oh shit.
Okay. Let me know where I am then. Sorry, forgot about that.
Okay.
Hey, Willie Doug. Thanks for stopping by.
Yay.
And with that, he taps his blunderbuss again, and he says, "Okay, I'm sick and tired of you, Elfie." And he taps it for the orange gem again. He fires it behind him, and his thruster takes him forward. And I'm going to need Lion, Vandris, Annulin, and Sylvie to make dex saving throws.
Do I get an opportunity attack?
You do.
Where's he going to?
He's going directly into Sylvie.
Oh.
Natty 20!
Pickle Rick!
Wow.
Thanks for. Are we getting
Alright,
alerts?
I'm
Thanks for
gonna
the follow.
roll. I'm gonna roll for my dex.
Yeah.
But then
Thank
if
you
he
for
goes
the
past me, do
follow.
I also
I don't
get
think it's
an
like
attack
an
of
alerts. I
opportunity?
think it's just a procedure.
If you get knocked out of the way, no. So you're going to basically have to be dodging, so you won't be able to get it. Yeah.
Once on each of your turns.
I got an 18 and my lion got a 5.
I got a 14.
14 fails,
Do you
18 succeeds.
I got a 19.
I use it on my turn, but it's no longer my turn.
succeeds. So,
Your turns.
So I
so
have to wait till my turn to get it.
Yeah.
he is going to knock
So it's
Okay.
each of you
reaction.
here. Vantage
Okay.
is getting thrown here. Annulin, you both are dodging, but he is going to end right here, and you don't take any damage, correct? You both.
Am I no longer grappled?
I'll say you're not. You're no longer grappled. It kind of bashes you out of the way. Both Sylvie and Annulin saved. Lion and Vandris, however, take. Hold on, sorry guys. Okay. 5, 6, 10. 17 points of bludgeoning damage as he smashes into you and knocks you aside.
I take half
Yes.
because I failed.
Yes.
Yes.
Evasion.
Wait. Oh, evasion. Yes.
Was it a dex save? It was a
It
dex
was
save.
dex saving throw. Yeah.
So is he here technically in this square?
Yeah.
And he, Krem takes 13 damage from my hit.
13 damage. As he's doing this, you manage to get him in the back with your warhammer right as he is about to take off. 13 points, you said?
Mm-hmm.
As he knocks you aside, he knocks you out of the jaws of the crook croc. And Lion and Vantage, you're both prone. Okay. So that is all of his legendary actions. So that was Annulin. Now it is Ratley's turn, and he looks at you all, and he is like sees that King Krem's attention is away from him. So he's gonna creep outside and aim at the one that is kind of stunned after Vanus was thrown out of his jaws, and he's going to make an attack on it. And he's gonna hit. And it pierces through the croc's neck, and he lets out a yelp and falls down dead. All of them are dead. Could you please return his token to the pile?
Oh my god, that is so huge.
Woo!
Oh, got you, Avantris! Yeah, I did
Thank you,
it!
Riley, you saved my life.
But there's still that one little guy, right? One of the half of the
One of the guards.
One of the guards, yeah.
That's his turn. Lumi is Earth Elemental.
So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, he would be taking up. So he couldn't go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can go there, right?
Can you?
Yeah. So
You just pass through allies is fine.
1, 2, no, but
No.
3, 4, 5.5. I can do that, right?
Should be. If he has 30 speed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's this huge elemental. Is this all stone?
Yes.
Okay, so he's gonna slink down into the stone and use Earth Glide, where he can burrow through non-magical unworked. Never mind. So this is unworked stone, right?
This is definitely work
This is
stone.
definitely
Okay, never mind. JK Sen, he can't do that.
That would have been cool. That
That would have
really
been
cool.
really cool.
So let's do. You can't really go there. You can go through. Yeah, so you can do
Okay, I feel like we just watched that in an anime. That would be awesome.
1.5 or 1.5, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we can just walk there.
Okay.
So,
So he, it's this huge lumbering earth elemental, is immediately just ready. He's connected to your brain, Rodak, and he is ready to kill.
and so I am going to make 2 slam attacks.
Okay.
One is a 23, and the other is a 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14 misses, 23 hits.
Okay, so it does 2d8 plus 5. That sucks. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage.
13 damage? Okay. So one misses and the other one bashes into Krem's shoulder. He lets out as pebbles and rocks are flying, breaking off as he does. How 13 damage, you said?
13 damage.
Okay. Okay, he is looming right next to Krem. Basically, they're about the same size. With that, it is Van's turn.
Okay. I spend half my movement to stand up.
Okay, you heave yourself up off the ground.
So if I normally have 30 movement, which is 6 squares, I'm down to 3 squares, correct?
Correct.
Can I still dash to make it 6?
Yeah, right?
You can dash to add 6.
To add 6.
So you would have 9
You have 9.
if you dash.
Does that would be my bonus action?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I want to do that
Okay.
without drawing an attack of opportunity from that dude that's in front of me, and I want to keep after King Crow.
4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8.
He could probably get there. Yeah.
That's in range of King Crown.
So 1, 2,
3, 4,
3.5, 5, 6.5,
8.
8. Yep.
Yep.
So you can even go one more if you want.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine?
You sprint.
Oh, sorry.
After being knocked down, you heave yourself up, and you are just sprinting after Krem. Single-minded.
And I yell, "I'm not dead yet, you son of a bitch," and I attack him.
Okay.
I really, really, really hate to do this.
What was your roll? No. What was your roll?
I rolled a 6.
I used, but what was it plus?
It'd be plus 9, which ends up being a 15, which is definitely not going to hit.
But I'm going to use my reaction to add 10 to it.
Okay, so then it ends up being a 26.
26.
25.
You sprint, but after being taken so much damage and knocked down, you feel like you're going to miss. And once again, that familiar guiding claw of Bahamut guides your sword true, and you strike true in his back. Or in his
I
side.
think to myself, I almost had to call to the demons again, and I'm glad that I didn't turn to the dark side. I'm happy that I see the light of Bahamut as opposed to that evil force. Points of damage.
25 points of damage. Okay, slides in. 25 points of damage. Okay, Okay, that's your turn. It's Monsters 1. With that, he's gonna come charging at Ganji.
Okay.
You're here?
Yeah.
What's that purple die?
That's my spiritual weapon.
So does he take damage for running into it? No.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh. Okay, cool. So with that, he's going to run out of
Apollo.
He's going to make 2 active
Oh,
attacks.
thanks, Lindy Marie. You're the best.
And
Really appreciate it.
they are both going to miss horribly. You just blocked both of them. And he is looking pretty upset here. He's trying to stay stoic here. Lair actions. So he says, "You killed my pets, good thing I have more. Come on out!" And then the waters thrash as the crocs
Oh shit.
swarm again.
This is so bad. This is so bad.
You stay on, Krem. We've got this.
2 on Rodek. We're gonna have.
There are 2 number 2s, by the way.
Oh shit. Huh.
Should we make that a 3?
No. Do I have? I lost the 2, and then I guess
It's a 3. If you don't have a 3.
Oh.
3's over here.
Oh.
Huh.
Make it a 5.
You have a 5.
I have a 5. Well, I'm gonna get rid of this 2. Sorry, guys. 5, and then is this all? Will there be 6 on the board?
Yes. So that's a full 6.
So 2 on there, 2 on there, and there are actually 3 swarming Rodek, and they're coming out of the water, and they are hungry. And so bite attack on Sylvie. That is going to hit. His jaws smash into you. That is going to deal a nice keen 3 plus 6 points of piercing damage. You're grappled and restrained, and now it's going to swing at you with its claws. And that is going to be a natural 20.
Ooh.
And it's going to do 6 points of slashing damage. Almost lowest damage possible.
Good God, that could have been bad.
With that, we're going to have a bite attack against Annulin. That is going to miss. Claw attack against Annulin. That is going to hit. Annulin, you take 5 points of slashing damage. Bite attack against Avantris. That is going to fail miserably. A claw attack against Avantris. That is also going to fail miserably. We're going to do 3 bite attacks against Rodek. 2 of those miss, but 1 of them does manage to hit. And they are going to bite. Rodek, you take 7 points of piercing damage as 1 manages to bite you. They are all going.
How many points?
Was it?
7.
7 points.
They are 2 are going to miss, but the other one is going to be advantage because he has claws you in his, and that is going to hit you. That you are going to take 6 points of slashing damage from his claws, and those are all the Crocs.
Mm-hmm.
It's feeding time. Come on, the other one's failing me. You can do better.
And with that, Sylvie.
Okay, I am going to maybe. I am going to. I'm thinking about my dream and Titania. Right next to me, I'm going to drop my imp, my maddening imp of a Malbolge. And I need. And it's targeted on Krem. I need him to make a wisdom saving throw against 17.
Okay. You channel the darkness. You feel kind of that sick, disgusting pit of feeling of sickness in your stomach as you kind of this feeling of warmth in you, and you hear a whisper in your mind, "Malbolge sends its aid." And all of a sudden, this imp appears out of nowhere, covered in blood, and almost looks like he's made out of entrails and organs. And he's flapping around in King Krem's face.
Oh my god, he's so cute! Get him!
And so what do I do?
Time out. Where the hell did this thing come from?
Malbolge.
From me! Okay, get him!
And he has to make a wisdom save against 17.
Okay. That is he's advantaged against. That is going to succeed.
Okay. So it says if it succeeds or if he fails, he takes psychic damage. But I then may move the target. So I don't, because of how you wrote this out. Like, does just the whole thing completely fail?
Oh wait,
or
hold
does the
on.
rest
That's
of it
not a
work?
spell.
No.
That's a power, so I'm
It's
not
a power.
advantaged. I need to roll again. Sorry. And that is going to fail. And I'm not going to use legendary reaction here.
So he takes 1d10 charisma, or psychic damage.
Okay.
Plus my modifier, so that's going to be 11 psychic damage.
11, okay.
And then I'm going to move him 10 feet towards the other guy, and he has to attack him.
Oh.
So who should represent? Can you just pass me, maybe,
It's only
Renee?
until my next turn, so.
Oh, okay, I'll just use the die, the skull die. So where is he now? So it's in this guy?
My imp is just like between me and the moth guy.
Oh, so we don't need a die for him?
No, because he'll be gone
So
soon.
he's
So he's just moving Krem towards number 3, and then Krem has to attack number 3.
And you see kind of a little rupture in his eyeball. He's so maddened by this. This blood is splurting. It starts to come, more vicious out of his neck, and he starts running. He's this mad. I want to kill you! And so the imp is laughing at him as he's leading him towards
Number 3, right? So here?
So the imp, can the imp share my space because we're both small?
Yes.
Like, okay. So the imp is in my space. So yeah, I want him just to move to where he can attack number 3 because he has to attack number 3.
Okay, so the imp, he's like, oh, come back here, you little imp! And then the
Can I get
imp,
opportunity?
Yes. Can we get opportunity attacks?
it is not his turn. He's not using his move.
Yeah, no, I'm forcing him to move.
You're forcing him to move, so it does not count.
Oh,
It's not
shit, yeah.
So he swings, and then he's like, and then the imp just blinks out of existence. Or is he there until the turn? He dodges out of the way.
Why? No, he's still there.
Oh.
No, I'm forcing King Krem
No,
to attack
I just want to know
number
how long
3.
the imp lasts.
The imp lasts until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so the imp just dodges out of the way and it swings down and completely butchers, cleaves the crocodile in half.
As the killer dog.
And he's laughing menacingly.
It's amazing.
And you hear another whisper in your mind, "You are welcome." And with
Oh, now I get it.
You got it?
that,
He's clapping. You can't hear it, but
Wait,
is that your turn?
then it was
So that was my action.
Okay.
For my
Who's one?
bonus action, I want to drink one of my potions.
Okay. You just grab one of your potions and just down the whole thing.
And that will be my turn.
Okay. Rodek, you're up.
Which one has me in its jaws?
Number 2.
Okay, I'm gonna attack number 2 first.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it a precision attack.
Okay.
To 10, 11.
11 misses. It just swing and you miss trying to hit it in your jaws.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I will attack again.
Okay.
20.
That'll hit.
Reroll that, thank God. 9, so 14
You
damage.
swing and cleave it off of you. Its head kind of bounces. You cut it severs its head and its body, and it just falls back into the water.
I'm going to attack number 4
Okay.
with my bonus action.
Yep. No, you use both, right?
Not this round.
Okay.
That was last round. 20, whatever. And I guess I'll roll damage. 8 damage.
Okay.
4.
Okay. 4 kills it. You don't even see what happens to him. Your axe just comes down on him. He collapses into the water, and then blood just trickles out.
And I am going to. I'm gonna move.
Okay. He's gonna make a top attack opportunity after the bite,
Yep.
and he's gonna miss.
1, 2, 3. Four and a half.
Okay. 4.5. Okay. With that, Krem is going to stay where he is, and he's going to look at Silver and says, "You're the one that tried to trick me," and he's going to do both of his.
They're going to be at disadvantage
Okay.
because he is adjacent to the end.
Okay. So, "God, get out of here! I need to kill this tiny gnome." And the first one is going to be a 20 to hit, disadvantage.
Wow.
Shit.
Hold on, that's the wrong die. That's going to be 12 points of slashing damage. You'd have 1 rank of wounds, and then the second one is going to be disadvantaged. and that is going to. One was a natural 20, the other was a 2. He's so, oh, you pesky imp! So you have 1 rank of wounds being your next turn roll, and then he looks at you and says, like, oh, I've had enough of your stupid tiny sword! And this, the yellow gem again, he fires it at you, and he is going to make
I don't get a con saving throw against the wound.
That's
after you take it.
That's when you take damage.
Okay.
And it fires at Avantris, and it misses. Flies right over.
Any attack he tries to make while
Next to
he's
the imp?
Well, it's still missed.
any
it's still
enemies adjacent to the imp have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah, okay. And then, you pesky imp, and he's going to shoot at Annulin with the purple. And that is also going to miss. And he's, I hate this thing! And
I love this imp.
with that, that's his turn. And Ganji, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to swing at number 1 with the spiritual weapon.
Okay.
14
Hits.
plus. Okay. It's going to be 11, 14.
It caves its skull in as the
sweet.
the shining platinum hammer.
See how.
Alright. So this guy is going to move 4 up.
Okay.
And then I am going to Sacred Flame Crocodile number 1. I'm going to move up with it a little bit. Moving off to one side. Or no. I'm going to move like right here behind the Earth Elemental.
Okay.
I'm going to Sacred Flame this guy.
Okay.
So he makes a dex save.
Dex save, that is going to be a 22.
That'll do it.
Nothing
happens.
Number 1? Okay, yeah, it's still a 19. Natural. It managed to dodge out of the way. The pillar of flame does not find purchase. With that, it is going into his turn. And he is going to take his blunderbuss and punch the gem until it turns white and it sucks in. And I'm going to need Sylvie, Annulin, and Vandris to roll a strength saving throw.
No. I got 5.
10.
Oh shit.
Vandris?
Sorry, I just scrolled through my thing. I got a total of 20.
20. You manage to kind of steal yourself and not get pulled in. And but Sylvie and Annulin, you both get sucked in. First, he's going to fire in Annulin because she was the second one out. He's going to fire that at Ganji. Ganji, I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Okay. That's going to be 20.
20. You manage to dodge out of the way. Annulin slides down next to you, taking no damage, but she's prone. Sylvie, he's going to shoot you at Rodek. Rodek, make a dex saving throw.
15.
15. You manage to barely dodge Sylvie as she lands next to you, and she is prone besides you, taking no damage as well. She kind of slides down. You're a bit
Like
shaken.
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
With that, it is. Sorry. Annulin, your turn.
All right. So, throw off my plan a little bit. Okay, yeah. I'm just going to fire 2 arrows at Krem.
Okay.
That's a 12 and a 28.
A 12 and a 20. 12 misses, 28 hits.
$19 damage.
19 damage. Your arrow sinks in. Your arrow sinks in. What do you have? 28 damage, you said?
Yeah.
28. Sorry.
No, was it?
What was that?
Hold on. Oh, it was 18.
18. Sorry.
She rolled.
One of the arrow bounces off of his breastplate. The other one sinks into his shoulder. Okay.
I'm going to use a bonus action to take a greater healing pot.
Okay. You chug the healing pot. And you needed to use your bonus action to attack with your line? Or no?
No, it's his own thing.
No, he's on his own thing.
So it was Lion's turn.
And is he within 5 feet of Genji?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
No,
He's
he's not.
there.
No.
He's there.
He can move.
Yeah, he's gonna just kind of sidle around
Okay.
between the elemental and make a bite attack on this one.
Okay.
See you, Z. Thanks for stopping
See you, Z.
by.
Thanks, V.
Really appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Hopefully we don't all die.
23 to hit.
23 hit that hits.
Or damage.
4 damage. It tears its head off and sinks its fangs into the head and just rips its skull right off. And the blood is just spurting out of its neck as it collapses. Okay.
It still has some movement if you want to move some more.
It does or I do.
The lion does.
What happened to the other guard, by the way? Did you kill it?
Yeah, I just killed it.
Okay, yeah.
With a spiritual weapon.
Oh, yeah. With that...
He's gonna move, with the rest of his movement, he's just gonna move towards the guy near the wall, but remain 30 feet out.
This guy? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. So, he's like right there. To remain 30 feet out, he's like right there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God, that's a longer way than I thought. Yeah.
No, it's
One,
actually even more. Wait, away from this guy? 30 feet away from Krem?
He's fine. You can just leave him where he is.
Okay.
I've
I
already
think it's 30
explained
feet
it.
from this guy.
Oh.
I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Ratley's gonna
Hi,
creep...
Afrogoose.
Hey, Afro.
Thanks
Hey.
for joining.
How's it going?
Ratley's going to peek around the corner. Like, look out, Avantris! And he's going to shoot at the cross that's right next to you. If you're giving Avantris cover fire. And that's going to hit. And it pierces right through its neck and it collapses down dead.
Riley's my hero!
Yes!
I got you! And with that, it is Earth Elemental's turn.
He's just gonna run straight up to Krem and attack twice. Where's the bullet? 16 and less. Do either of those hit?
Oh, was that
It's
16?
a 16 and a 13.
On
Krem.
Krem, 16 hit. No, neither.
Okay, so he'll just sit there.
Both of his massive swings are very strong, but they kind of bounce off of the breastplate, almost like it was a shield. And with that, it is... Whose turn is it? Vander's your turn.
Bonus action, take my greater healing potion.
Okay, you chug that greater healing potion, and you feel your wounds start to...
4d4 plus 4, correct?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. I healed 14.
Okay.
You guys don't want to know what I was at.
What are you at now?
You don't want to know. I charge after King Crown.
Okay.
Here?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I don't want to get too far away from everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I have to dig deep and use the exploited loophole of Dis.
Wait, what was your roll?
If I miss, I guess.
What?
I got a 17.
I think that's a hit.
17 is a hit.
17 to hit. That does hit.
Hey!
Oh, thank God. Alright. I'm staving off the demons for at least another turn.
I have another channel.
$24 points of damage.
24 points of damage. The rapier sinks into its back. And it does 24 points of damage. Okay.
And then I'll back up, I guess, however much movement I have left, which I think is only a square or two.
Okay.
You
back up a little
did.
bit.
Where were you? Like here? Like 1, 2. Yeah, you can probably go like here.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. With that, He is going to layer action turn. So the one quick clock is going to go and just go after Sylvie. So I need to hit that first real quick. Bite attack, that is going to hit. That will deal, great, 6 points of piercing damage. And if you are now in its clutches, it is advantaged at you to make an attack, and that is also going to hit. And the claws hit you for 8 points of slashing damage, as it is in you're in its jaws and it's slashing at your flesh. And that's the only one that's alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, he's going to, and that deep blue energy, the crackling lightning, and he is going to place it. And I need Avantris, Annulin, and Ganji to make dex saving throws.
Dex, you say?
That's gonna be an 11.
11, that's going to fail.
24 for me.
Passes.
Freaking 13.
13.
Roll 5 like every time.
Vandris dodges out of the way, but both Ganji and Annulin take 5 points of lightning damage.
So that's 2 for me?
Yeah, 2 for you, and you feel it does not seem to do as much as Krem was hoping, and your movement is reduced to 0 next turn. Okay. With that, it is Sylvie's turn.
I am going to. Was my imp with me? Did he move with me, or did he stay where he was at?
He would say where he's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I am going to chug a healing potion as my bonus action again. So I'll do that in a minute, and then I am going to. Would I have line of sight on Krem with that elemental there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on him. So
Ooh, bad rolls.
yeah, 23, and then the other one would have
23 hits.
And 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage as one of the glitter lances gets almost absorbed into his breastplate, and the other one hits him in the side, doing 12 points of damage. Okay. With that, it is Rodik's turn. You're up.
Okay, I am going to. This guy's so far. Doesn't matter. I am going to attack this Croca guy. Natty 20.
Okay.
Yay. Hold on, let me roll twice. Oh wow, I got lots of damage.
You cut him in half at the end.
Sound
and
more
then-
excited.
Woo, Big ol' Rick. And then I guess his dead body's still here. So 1, 3, 4, 5.
Sylvie, you feel yourself freed as
Did I need to take
you
additional
need to take the
damage?
wounded, the 1d4 necrotic, and then you can roll a con saving throw,
Free.
and then con saving throw for that. Okay, it is King Krem's turn.
Is it considered magic?
No.
Okay. No, I'm gonna pass.
Okay.
it.
So Krem's points at Vanders. Okay, sneaky, no more hiding. And he just stomps up to you. Could you move him right to Vandrus? As he's going to swing twice with his. That is going to hit.
I'll uncanny dodge the first one.
Okay.
He should still be within 10 feet of.
The imp is gone.
Oh yeah, the imp is gone. Never mind. You're right.
10 points of slashing damage, and you have 1 rank of wounds. And he's going to swing back around at you. And that is going to miss. and he is going to the purple gem as he points it at Ganji. And that is going to miss. You block it with your shield, and then he is going to aim the. He is going to aim the yellow crystal at Rodek. Nope. And that is 17. That's also going to miss. Okay. It flies over your head. He's just,
Oh, I hate this fucking thing. Orpheus, I never do more than this.
okay, and that's his turn. Ganji, you're up.
Alright, so I'm going to move spiritual weapon here.
Okay.
This is all it can move. Can't quite get in range. And then I'm going to 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Oh, fuck it.
So that's gonna be 14, but I'm gonna use my thing to add 10 to it, so that's a 24.
Okay, you feel like you're going to miss, and Bahamut guides your hand, and you smash right into the side of him.
So that's gonna be 16 damage.
16 damage, okay.
And then bonus action to attack again. That's not gonna hit though.
You smash into him. He had better days, but he's still full of hateful rage. So 16, and you attack again, you missed?
Yeah.
And he smacks it aside with his massive hand. Still has the arrow that Aeon shot him with. Okay, Ganji. And with that, he's going to then follow up, using one of his legendary actions to, necrotic damage, and that. He's going to attack you with his sword, and then it's going to hit. And so, could you actually do the saving throw before we do that?
Nope.
Okay, so now you have 2 ranks of wounds.
Yay.
As you take, hold on, one die. As you take 9 points of slashing damage,
Okay.
and you have 2 ranks of wounds. So next it'll be 2d4.
Okay.
As you have the wound is seeping in deeper, and with that, anyway, your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna send 2 arrows at Krem.
Okay.
Shocking, I know.
Who would have thought?
That's a 20 and a 26 to hit.
20 and 26, they both hit.
And he's still looking good.
He's looking wounded for sure, bloody for sure, but you know he's a big fucking crocodile guy.
First damage is 27.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay.
Second damage is 14.
Okay. As he's focused on Ganji and Avantris, he is swinging away, and you're firing. Both sink into him, doing a good amount of damage. He has these full arrows at this point, and he's gonna say, and then he swings his sword down at Avantris.
So I have a quick question now.
Yes.
Before you tell me the roll.
Yes.
Lucky states that I can roll my own die, and before the outcome is decided, I can choose whether to use the die that I rolled or the die that you rolled.
Okay.
Now, I know my AC, so as soon as you tell me what the roll is, then I know the outcome. Am I still supposed to make a blind pick and hope that I just roll low? Or do you tell me what you rolled first before I decide, oh, I don't know the outcome yet, and I roll my own lucky die and choose which one to use?
Let's say, because that'd be kind of stupid if you couldn't know the roll. How do other DMs do
But
that?
we don't know we don't know what the bonus would be, right? So we don't know what his plus
I would just know the roll, and the outcome hasn't been determined yet.
Well, I rolled 11 on the die. We'll say.
We'll roll the dice. We'll see what happens.
It hits.
Damn it!
It slices into you, dealing... Yikes. 12 points of slashing damage. And you have another rank of wounds.
It's just a flesh wound.
Or your first rank of wounds. This is your first rank?
It's my second now.
Your second rank. So in the beginning of your next turn, you'll take 2d4. Necrotic.
Oh, shit.
This isn't good.
Okay.
Okay.
This is no good.
Okay.
Alright, Lion's turn.
Lion's turn.
Lion is going to kind of run and pounce at Krem between Avantris and D&D.
Okay. We'll say he can. Yeah, he can get in there. Yeah.
Okay. If that's cool, I figured.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's a big old lion. I'll just push him out of the way. And he's going to make a claw attack.
Okay.
15 to hit.
Ad misses, fortunately.
Nice try, kitty!
And Lion, he tries to run up, but with both Vanders and Ganji in the way, it's a little tough. He misses his pounce. He's practicing his pouncing. It's like the morning report in the Lion King musical. He's got to work on it. And with that, it is Ratley's turn.
Did you ever use your inspiration?
I just. It wouldn't have made me.
And
hit
so I
that
says,
thing, though. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm forgetting.
No, it's okay.
Okay, this is
I'm
it.
just trying to
Okay,
figure
and
out
so
who
he
I
creeps
can
out
give to.
outside of the door, and he's gonna aim at King Krem, and he's gonna make an attack. And it's gonna hit. He's hit every single time.
Hey.
He's
Okay.
on fire.
The bolt flies in, and it hits him, and then King Krem's eyes levy right at Ratley.
Is that an actual Crusader?
And Greg's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he uses the rest of his movement to duck back behind the door after dealing whatever that damage was. Okay. Elemental. Rich. Elemental.
Elemental. So what I want to do is just if I could look real quick.
Can he
Here.
explode like an electrode and just kill the King Krem? Because that would be really awesome.
I'll take the hit if it comes to that.
Me too, because I'm probably gonna die anyway.
Okay, I would like to make a grapple attack
Okay.
on King Krem.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't have closed it. And so basically, when you grab, you use the attack action to make a special melee attack of grapple. It replaces one of my attacks. Basically, it's an athletics contest. For
Okay.
my athletics versus your athletics or acrobatics. Damn it.
That would be a 9.
You have at least a 9. Depending on if he's.
I have a 9 as well.
So how does that work? You roll
The
off?
existing...
That's defense, so you have to, right?
Yes, I have to beat you.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to grapple again with my
Okay,
second
he
attack.
swings and he tries to wrap his huge rocky arm around, and King Krem forces it out, and so what was that?
So I got a 16.
And I got a 22.
Okay.
I'm the stronger one, you pile of boulders.
So he's just going to move...
I can get an opportunity attack?
No, he's still an 8.
Oh.
It's the diagonal.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Okay. And with that, it is Vander's turn.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta roll these 2d4, and I have to roll minimum damage.
Oh, jeez.
I take 3 damage! I'm at 1 hit point!
No way!
You feel the necrotic energy of the wound start to seep in as it is racking you with pain, but you are barely hanging on.
Do I roll the con save at the end of my turn?
Yeah. You can do it. You
Okay.
can do it now. It's fine. Doesn't really
I'm
matter.
gonna attack first. I'm gonna
Okay.
attack first.
Hits.
$29 points of damage.
Holy shit.
I'm rolling really well on my damage tonight.
Really well. As you are barely hanging on, you can just walk up to him and you find a weak spot in that armor and you shove your rapier as hard as you can deep into his flesh. He goes, "Sneaky!" And he looks at you angrily. And with that, it is
Con saving throw.
con saving throw time.
I rolled a natural 1, so I'm going to use one of my lucky die
Okay.
to roll again.
Okay.
Didn't.
These ends up being a 12.
12. You are not able to resist it as
My world.
the wound continues to stay in you, the necrotic curse. And with that, it is the lair action. And so,
I used up all of my luck, quite literally.
and so he said, come on, and he shoots once again up into the ceiling. And I am going to need, hold on. Rodek, Sylvie, and Van just to roll dex saving throws, please.
17.
21.
I got a 10.
So Sylvie and Rodek manage to dodge out of the way as two massive metal balls fall. Oh Jesus, fall down directly beside them. Can you put them next to you?
As long
Vandris,
as it doesn't do 60 damage, I'll be alright.
Vandris, you after being so heavily wounded, this one falls down and deals. How much damage does this do?
Just not 60.
Oh. Oh, Jesus. 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are knocked prone and unconscious.
Yep.
The ball hits you on the head, and Vanders falls unconscious as the metal ball rolls off of him. And blah, blah, blah. Okay. And with that, it is Sylvie's turn.
Okay. So, using my Rod of the Pack Keeper, I'm going to regain one of my Warlock spell slots.
Okay.
And then I'm going to command Lumi to fly her full speed to Vandris, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him at 4th level using that spell slot.
Okay, so you hold up a Wayward Soul, and you channel its power. You see the ruby crystal on the top of Matthias's old cane.
29 health.
29 health. The ruby rod of Matthias's old cane glows, and you hear as you hear Wailing Soul as you regain a spell slot, and Lumi dashes over invisible. Vandris feels the life return to him as a tiny hand boops him on the nose, and you feel a little fluttering of wings next to you. And then
Son of a bitch, that hurt!
did it! And then King Crimson's legendary action against you. Now, his last one at advantage because you're prone. That is going to hit. I didn't crit you. Come on.
Wait, can I uncanny dodge though, or is that only if I'm like, because like I had it, it was my turn already, right? And I haven't used it again.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
you could.
Yeah.
You could roll out of the way.
Yeah.
Roll!
13 points of slashing damage. As you man and Kennegon, you have 3 wounds now.
All right, got it. 3 wounds.
3 wounds. As it starts to creep into you, and you are feeling incredibly rough. Okay. Rhoda, you're up.
Not so tough, are you, Sneaky?
Okay. Rhoda.
I don't have any way to get to him.
Can you knock me out of the way?
You can go through the spiritual weapon, can't you?
Yeah, but I only have 5 movement.
The only square he can get to in range is the square I'm currently in.
Let's think here. Let's think. What can I do? What can I do?
Nothing.
I am going to...
Shot clock.
Yep, I am going to... 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am going to take the... I'm going to stay right there. I'm going to take the dodge action.
If you stand on there, great, you raise up your axe ready to dodge and defend yourself. It is King Krem's turn. He is going to attack once on Ganji.
Okay.
What?
No, it's fine.
Okay, he misses Ganji. And he's going to say, okay, Sneaky, time to finish you off. And he is going to make his attack. And he misses.
Hey.
And you manage to dodge out of the way as you feel some of your blonde hairs get sliced off as the blade comes down with a loud clang of metal. And with that, he's going to point his blunderbuss at Rodek and Annulin, and he is going to fire at range. And so I need to announce what I'm actually doing here before I do it. He's going to do the blue blast of frost on Rodek, and he get a natural 20.
He took the dog.
Yeah, you're dodged
Oh,
though.
no.
You're at...
Yeah.
He's still going to hit, but it's not a natural 20.
Well, better than nothing.
And so that is going to deal. I'm going to roll the thunder damage first. That is going to be 14 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
It blasts you, and then please make a dex saving throw.
I believe I'm advantaged,
Yes.
right? Is it dodge?
Yeah.
Thank God.
21.
You see an explosion of frost. You manage to dodge most of the ice crystals as they are shooting all over the place. And he taps it for the yellow crystal, and then there's a little bit of a crackle, and shoots at Annulin, and it is going to get a natural 20. Wow.
Oh.
Jeez.
Our
Yay!
DM needs new dice.
We are all rolling like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm rolling crazy bad.
25 points of damage,
Jesus.
of thunder damage. As the 25, as the blast of magical energy hits you in the directly square in the chest. Gotcha, Elfie! And I need you to make a con saving throw. You start to feel these shocks of energy shoot through your body.
Holy shit.
Six.
Ah!
You feel your body lock up and you are paralyzed until the end of your next turn.
That's
Of
bad.
course I am.
And you fall to the ground, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you fall down prone. Crumple to the ground. Okay.
That's a real bad one.
Does my face like land in a puddle also?
She drowns.
Water
Ganji,
down
you're
all
up.
over again.
Okay. Does she look like she went unconscious? Can I tell the difference?
Did she?
No, she didn't, but can
Can I tell?
No,
be-
she looks like she's paralyzed.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
her muscles, her body's not responding.
Okay. But it doesn't look like she's like on death's door.
No.
Okay. In that case, and Vandris, you're still alive.
I'm alive. I'm kicking.
Okay. So I think I attack. I'm gonna move spiritual weapon over here. I'm going to attack him with spiritual.
Okay.
With. Yeah, I'll do spiritual weapon first because it doesn't matter. Sorry. That's gonna be 12. I remembered it this time. So that's gonna be 18 to hit.
18 to hit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that does hit.
Okay. That's gonna be 8 force damage.
8 force damage, the platinum hammer smashes into him.
And then I'm going to attack with my normal attack.
Okay.
That's not gonna hit though. It's very bad.
Whoa, thanks.
So
Okay.
nothing else happens.
The spiritual weapon, he's not really sure where it's coming from,
Also,
and it smashes into him. He lets out a roar, but he managed to knock yours out of the way with his sword. And with that,
nope.
Okay, I'm coming back, and he's going to use a legendary action to slice at you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to... What's your AC? 20?
20.
Misses. So you bash it off with your shield, and with that, it is Annuan's turn. You're paralyzed, so you can't do anything. Right?
Can't take actions.
Can't take action. So you're just...
Is there a save?
No, just until the end of the next turn.
Okay.
Into the end of...
She basically just loses.
Until the end of Krem's next turn. So...
She loses it.
She just loses it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Can she still command the
Lion? Yeah,
lion?
Lion has a turn.
Oh, Lion will make a bite attack.
He's in range.
Yeah.
24 to hit.
Hits.
Dumbass, I've been rolling the wrong dice for his attacks, like, the whole time.
By the way, did his breastplate absorb the force damage? Did it?
It did not seem to do that. It kind of hit away from the breastplate.
Okay.
Yeah, so it did.
That is 7 damage.
7 damage. As Lion managed to finally get a taste of King Crab, as it kitty cat.
Not much repels force.
Yeah, that's kind of what I
It's
thought.
kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Which is why my glitter lance is the bestest.
Mhm.
Okay. He is like bleeding. There's wounds. You're surrounding him, and he is he's looking very he is looking a little desperate. So he punches his gem, and it turns that white and starts to suck in. I need all 3 of you to make Rodak, Ganji, and Vandris to make strength saving throws.
That's where I'm a Viking.
12.
12
18.
passes, fails.
26.
Both Vandris, you're on the ground and you like sink your fingers into one of the bricks. You're like and you manage to hold on. Ganji, you are sucked into the blend of blessed. You shrink, and he pointed directly at Rodak and said, "Okay, Fanny," and he fires directly at you. And I need you to make a dex saving throw, Rodak.
I'm still dodging, right?
Yes.
Yeah!
He doesn't know that.
18?
18. You have to dodge out of the way as Ganji hits the ground next to you.
You got me out of
Bro.
melee range with him.
I did,
Thank
bro.
you.
Prone,
Perfect.
and you're fine. You guys are really good at dodging. I need to rework that ability. It's fine. It's fine. We learned.
Yeah, we learned.
And with that was his last legendary action, and
That lady, I think.
it is Rutley's turn. So he kind of creeps around, and he just
The music's gone.
it's over.
TPK.
And it is going to miss. It flies off and hits the ceiling, and you hear a loud rattling of metal. And he says, "Oh, that was my first miss this fight." And with that, it is
Pretty
Elemental's
accurate.
turn.
Elemental's turn. Okay, he is going to... I think he is going to move right here. And he is going... no, here. The line's there, right?
Yeah.
How are you looking?
You can go through spiritual weapon too, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to leave him right there. That's fine. And I'm just going to make 2 attacks. Real bad. 17 and 16.
17, 16. 17 hits, 16 doesn't.
Okay, and so he does 2d8 plus 5.
The arm smashes in.
13.
13 points of damage. As you see a tooth chipped as the rocky hand smashes into his crocodilian face. And with that, it's Vanish's turn.
All right.
3d4.
Yes, I have to use 3d4 first. I take 5 total damage.
Okay.
Nice.
You feel the curse seep in your body and it racks your body with pain.
I use half my movement to stand up.
Okay. You heave yourself up.
I shout, as long as I draw breath, and then I go to wind up and... I got a 15.
15, that misses.
I'm going to use the exploited loophole of this.
Yes!
That's a lot. 24 plus my charisma, it's like 27.
That hits.
$23 points of damage.
23 points of damage, okay. How do you want to do this?
No!
So from the prone position, as I stand up with half my movement, I'm just gonna launch myself through the air and ram the rapier through his one giant eye.
Okay. So as you heave yourself up, you feel yourself stumble as you're going to miss him, and once again, you don't want to do it. But you call upon the shape in the shadow, and you hear a whisper in your brain, "This guides your hand." And you feel that sickening pit of fear, anger, and hatred, and rage, and all of the negative emotions, as your whole body feels flushed with this really unsettling energy. And all of a sudden, you feel it almost lift you up as you leap up into the air, and he looks at you, and he goes, "Rah!" And you stab it right up, and it pierces right through his eyeball. It spurts in blood as it ruptures, and it pierces through the top of his skull. As he lets it, "Rah!" And you pull your rapier out and land, and he stumbles down and collapses forward onto the ground.
Well,
Paralyzed.
You're not paralyzed anymore.
Is combat over?
Well, that's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I'm still right where I am.
He's laying
I have to roll for the con save
Yeah,
throw.
con saving throw.
Oh, thanks,
thanks, buddy.
D&D for the
oh,
song.
thank you.
17.
17. You feel as you look over King Krem's crumpled form. You stand over him and you feel the wounds start to dissipate.
I want to be running up, I've been running, trying to get you this whole time, and I go, I didn't hit him once.
You didn't.
I didn't hit him once. Well done.
You did really good on ad control, though.
Tis my lot in life.
As you say that suddenly, you notice a flash of movement too late. As the body of King Krem heaves itself up and is standing before you. Its eye, a completely ruined mess. Its skull gaping with blood. His one remaining eye is bloodshot, furious, full of animalistic rage as he looks around the entire party. You think you can kill me that easily? I'm a king! You are nothing! I won't let you ruin my legacy! And he lunges forward and gets a surprise round on you. You are all surprised. And
Holy shit.
I am indeed surprised.
I am actually surprised.
Yeah.
And And
I thought Orpheus was gonna pour it in or something. I didn't think he would get back up.
I know.
And with that, he is just going to use a full round of actions. You! And he swings his sword at Avantris. And he gets a natural 1.
Well, he only has one.
He only has 1.
Yeah,
My fucking death perception! And he swings it again at Avantris. And he does manage to hit this time.
All uncanny dodge.
You gotta be kidding me. 8 points. 8 points of slashing damage, and you get a rank of wounds again as it slashes you. And he is going to say, I'm gonna kill all of you! And he is going to point his blunderbuss at Rodek directly in front of him with disadvantage. And that is going to miss horribly, and that would have been the paralyzed one. And so this one, he's going to point it at Ganji, and he's going to do the purple one, and that is also going to miss. So he's like, "Argh!" He's frothing with this horrific animalistic rage.
Whose turn is it?
Oh, Avantris, your turn.
I just went, didn't I?
We're starting combat over again. You guys surprised me.
I yelled, son of a bitch! I redoubled and I tried to stab him again in the face.
Okay.
Hootsie! Show us your Hooters!
Show
All
us
the
your
subs!
Hooters!
Show us your Hooter
I got
subs.
23.
That hits.
I guess it makes sense for King K. Rool, doesn't it? I should have thought.
21 points of damage.
To be fair, we didn't see it.
How do you really want to do this?
I want to yell something along the lines of, I don't know.
Tell me.
I already went with the big finisher with the big eye. It's like, I could go for the other eyeball, but that seems unoriginal now.
You should just casually do it. Like, go fuck yourself and just stab him dead.
Okay, alright, I got the better idea here. So then, instead, I can, if this is alright, I can tell that he's real weak, so my redouble is to, like, kick him over and then just, like, stab him in the throat. Like, knock him over and then just finish him off.
He's standing there when you've completely ruined his eye. There's a hole in his fucking skull. It is basically sheer will and hatred and fury that is keeping him alive at this point. And you can tell that he's weak. And you just walk up to him, fed up with his fucking shit and his stupid wounds. You do a This Is Sparta kick. And he falls backwards, and you walk up right to him. Were you stabbing him?
Just in the throat.
In the
I'm just gonna
throat,
finish him off.
and you just point your rapier, and slowly you look into his final eye, and he lets out one final gurgling roar as your rapier sinks into his soul. Is one last good eye rolls back into his skull, raging until the very end. He, after crashing previously from your kick with a cacophonous crash, a large red tongue falls out of his slackened jaws, and you hear faintly the final breath of King Krem the Cruel.
Hey!
Okay, so question: do we still have wound bullshit to deal with, or does that go away?
I would say just take another rank of wounds, and then just it'd be wounds until you can either medicine check it,
Okay.
or you can.
I'm gonna medicine check for myself.
And it's, you said con?
21.
17.
6.
I'll have to roll one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 12.
I'll go over and medicine
Medicine check,
damage.
please.
That's not gonna do it. That's
Okay.
only a 9.
Another 1d4 damage to Avantris.
And as Ganji approaches, I angrily say, Don't touch me, get away from me.
That's why I fail.
Alright then.
I take 3 points of damage.
For that.
Saving throw.
I got a 20.
You finally push all the wounds out as quiet returns to to the room, and you hear movement behind you as Ratley shaking. You hear the rattling of his crossbow, and you kind of get the sense of maybe where his name came from. As his crossbow is rattling, and he says, "Is King Krem really dead?"
Well, at this point, I wouldn't be opposed to that. This is one time where I wouldn't be opposed to us hacking his head off,
Well, I
just
was
to be
gonna
sure.
suggest that anyway, because I thought it would be a great idea for us to put it on a pike in the middle of town with a flag that says Vic the Vicious was victorious. And, yeah. So that was my idea, but we don't have to do that. But if you guys want to, I would like to. I think it'd be fun. Can we do that, do you think? Rodek, hack his head off.
You're the one with the axe.
I'm alive.
You made it, lad.
King Krem is dead and I didn't even die in battle like I had horrible visions of.
I don't even think he hurt you, did he?
Now I feel fine. I just hid like a scared little lizard.
Well, that's the way you win battles.
And to be fair, you did shoot a lot of people.
I was Vandris's cover fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did all right.
I tried.
I'm gonna go run and jump on my lion's back because I'm kind of freaked out from having been
Okay.
paralyzed.
The lion nuzzles you, and you feel his really plush fur. You're used to like large cats. This feels like much softer and cuddlier than the standard animals you've been with. And he nuzzles you. He's happy to see you for the remaining time he has left before he turns back into a statue.
And I would like to inspect the room, just
Okay.
for things in general, but I'm also looking for something that seems stickier than the growlin shit, and a clay pot.
Okay.
So just roll investigation.
Yep.
No.
This is the quest that never ends.
I know. I just really want something stickier than the growling shit. 11.
11. You look around and you dig into the pile of gross bananas. You find some like banana slime that's really sticky, like some
Ooh,
rotting
great.
banana slime that almost seems glue-like.
So
we'll say.
I'm gonna prestidigitation the growling shit out of my bag,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna fill it full of this sticky
Okay.
banana slime. Any luck with the clay pot?
Clay pot, you couldn't find any.
I love that we have no idea what the hell she's trying to do.
And you do manage to find, it's obvious, there was the goblet, the golden chalice with gems inlaid on his throne, as well as the
Oh yeah, I'm
crown,
gonna put that
the
in
three-pointed
my
crown
bag.
on top of the throne,
I wanna
which
put
is
both of
removable.
those in my bag.
So you can find those. Those are these nice gold. So you put them in.
Oh, those are pretty. I'm gonna take those.
Can I pick up the blunderbuss?
Thank you for hanging
Okay,
out,
yeah, you can pick it up.
Have a
You
good
take
night.
a look at it. It looks, it's been scuffed up a bit, but it looks to be relatively unharmed from when you saw it in Vito's workshop the first time you saw it.
Hey guys, take a look at this.
Just be
Don't
careful with that.
Point that at anyone.
Please just put it down. Did you see what he did with that? He made us all tiny.
To be
We
fair,
did
it
a lot
didn't
of
do a
stuff.
whole lot of damage.
We could do a lot of stuff. with
Right?
this.
I just think, why don't we just
Yeah.
be very careful?
I think it's really interesting, but you know what's more interesting? I wonder if there are bones out on Zaki's perch,
So I'm gonna go investigate Zaki's perch for some bones.
You look at the gate. There is a system of pulleys and chains that are like seem very heavy. You have to pull just to.
Well, do you think I
open
can
it.
get my mage hand through to like grab a bone? I just need a
You
small
you
bone.
look and these perches are just for perching. You look outside, so there's not like nesting or food. It is basically a big wooden structure.
This is so boring.
I turn to Ratley and I say, What would your people need to believe that King Krem was dead? Should we take his head?
His head, yes, no, definitely his head.
All right.
Well, I want to look through the rest of his body first and see if there's anything interesting before you splatter more blood all over it.
All right.
You could probably steal some of his bones. He doesn't seem to need.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take his arm!
And so 14 for investigation on him.
14 for investigation. The
And then-
blunderbuss and his huge sword had clattered to the ground.
Can I
They're
pick
very
up the
obvious.
sword?
Rhoda picks up the sword. Annulin's holding the blunderbuss. You look at his breastplate and you kind of pull up. You see that it's been fastened by chains around him, and you kind of yank it free, and you realize it's actually in the shape of a shield. And with this shimmering hue to it, this multicolor hue that almost is similar like that you saw on the shell of the flail snails. And actually when you turn in the light, it kind of looked like this sheeny color, shiny. You actually kind of see that there's actually the emblem of what looks like to be a dragon on the shield.
Oh, dibs.
Oh my god!
Fucking dibs.
This is so beautiful. Look at how pretty. I'm green, and then I'm blue, and then I'm purple, and then I'm pink. I'm gonna put this in my bag.
No.
They all fit in your bag.
Then I'm gonna hold it on under my arm, and I'm going to, with one arm, probably disadvantage, I want to try and hack away part of his arm bone.
Make a disadvantage dex check. You also find a bag of
10.
you find a bag of 437 platinum pieces.
Holy moly.
Add it.
That's a lot of money.
Send it.
Tell me how much you said? 400?
437 platinum pieces.
That's amazing.
We're rich.
Any
And
luck with even just a little bit of the bone with the 10?
what did you roll on it?
I got a 10 at disadvantage.
It is, you're like sawing his hide. You barely get through his hide with all of that. One arm with the shield clutching in your clutches.
Well, at least I'm pretty in this mirror thing.
Can I see that mirror thing?
Why?
Because it looks like a shield, and I like those.
But you have a shield already. I don't have one.
Yeah, but it got all damaged by the slug too.
Well, that sounds like a dragon problem and not a Sylvie problem.
I know, and there's a dragon on that thing. I can see it from here.
I can't see a dragon. That looks like a turtle.
While they're doing this, I'd like to inspect the sword and just kind of look at it. And
Okay. You look at it. To him it was a one-handed weapon, but for you, you have to hold this thing in two hands for you to swing, and you kind of give it a few swings, and you'd probably have to take a short rest to figure out what it is.
would I be able to use it to decapitate King?
Yes, you would
Okay.
be able to do that.
So I just,
Hell
want,
yeah.
I just want to sort of do the whole, like, put it on the ground and, like, sweep it behind me and then up and down.
Yeah, you get a good thing, and just for that poetic justice, you put his arms down, and you bring his own sword down with a sickening chop that slices right through, and his head flies off. His ruined eye, just still splattering blood and gross ooze all over the place.
Rattly, that's all yours.
This is the greatest day of my life. We're free. We're free from the Mad King.
You're free.
Thank you all so much.
Do you want to sit on the throne for a minute and feel powerful?
Yes. And he
Yes, go do
scampers
that.
right over, and he step. And he turns around, and he sits down. And this thing is massive compared to him. He has to put up his hands to sit on the arm. Just,
This feels good.
and he's incredibly grateful. And so you're talking about this, and as you gather yourselves following this bloody fight, kind of just investigating things, everything's relatively quiet, because besides the sound of the storm, all of a sudden, an incredibly loud voice seems to project from every side of the room. Morning, do-gooders! Or is it night? Afternoon? I've been underground so long, I really don't know what time of day or what day it is. Oh well. Thanks for going through the trouble of exterminating the pests in my attic for me. I was going to do it myself eventually, but who has time for chores these days? I haven't dusted down here in weeks. And don't get me started on all the laundry I've been meaning to do. Oh, and thanks for killing Deidre for me too. Such a creepazoid, am I right? And what was up with that primeval one business? You can't see me right now, but I'm doing air quotes with my fingers right now. Anyway, a bit of an embarrassing cringe moment getting betrayed right in front of you, just like that. I'm sorry you had to be there to witness such nastiness. I hope the bad judgment call on my part doesn't make me seem less competent or threatening in your eyes. Oh, thanks, guys. You know just what to say to cheer me up. I promise I'll make it up to you. That's why you always have a plan B. Well, I should probably get off now. I'm sorry I couldn't come up to thank and incinerate you in person, but I'm a bit preoccupied at the moment. You understand. It won't be much longer now until I can share with you all what I've been working so hard on. That is, if you aren't torn apart by the bloodthirsty crocodile pirates that are probably heading to you right now. Maybe. If you do manage to survive long enough to see the fruits of my labors and my glorious dream fulfilled, a word of advice. Embrace the chaos. it's worked out for me so far. Anyway, see you never. Toodles.
I jump up and I shout, Orpheus, I'm coming for you. You're gonna die, you son of a bitch. I'm coming for you.
He said hard on.
And
I immediately jump up and come down, Len. You have no idea where it is.
Touch me! Don't touch me!
So before anybody gets crazy, I did a you googly eyes on you a few hours ago, and I realize now that I'm being a selfish little asshole by keeping this shield. So I'm gonna continue to. Okay. I'm gonna continue. Fuck, you can have the shield. And I'm gonna hand it to you.
Ganji takes the shield and you examine it and you think you probably get an idea. Oh, I guess you would look at it and you can see through. This seems to be. Make a history check for me, actually. History.
Oh shit.
18. That's gonna be 22.
22. As you look at it, you admire the design and the craftsmanship. This actually seems to be a shield of craftsmanship from the time of the Dragonborn that built this, an ancient shield, but incredibly well made. It seems to have been reinforced with some kind of anti-magic properties potentially, and you see that there's a bronze dragon head on this, which you probably get the sense is Kalidami, which was the bronze dragon that led the Bronze Dragonborn Navy to smash the Black Dragonborn on this island. And you assume that King Krem probably found it and repurposed it as a breastplate because it fit his gut. And yeah, that's what you get.
So because I gave that to you, can you forgive me for all the things that I said about you when I thought you were dead?
Yes.
Okay, great. Because I want to continue to keep pretty things from now on.
Like the crown.
What are you talking about?
Like that big, like that gigantic crown that you. It's like right behind you.
You know, I just see a bunch of growling shit in here, so I'm not sure if I put anything like that in there. Do you want to stick your hand in and see?
Oh, I'm all right.
Okay.
I think we should take a bit of a rest.
Me too.
Agreed.
Don't you, Avantris? Are you okay? You seem a little angry, a little tense.
I don't know. I'm not all right. That demon is truly a demon. I cannot keep putting myself in these positions where I'm forced to use this power. It's too tempting. I don't have the willpower to not use it, and quite frankly, I'm scared as to what it's doing to me.
Oh, I liked mine. I got to become friends with an imp called Gakmat, and then he did all of these weird things where King Krem was like, "Oh, I can't do anything to you," and I was like, "Ha ha ha! Gakmat is powerful." And then he
Did
disappeared.
you see that thing? That was not natural. That was an unholy abomination.
Oh, I thought he was beautiful.
It was horrifying.
No, he was so pretty. I loved the way that the fingertips hung from his eyelashes, and the way that he had a foot coming out of his nipple.
How does Titania feel about something like that?
Well, so sometimes she talks to me in my dreams, and she said that it was okay if I used it. So I'm assuming
Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, she's much more smarter and much more prettier and much more powerful than you are, so your opinion on it doesn't really matter because she said it's fine.
How did it make you feel when you used that power?
Well, I thought I was gonna puke for a minute, and then I saw how cute he was, and then I thought I was gonna puke again from his cuteness, and then I was just trying to save everybody because you guys were dying. And then he was gone before you give him a hug.
Well,
But kind of gross.
it's a fair warning, Avantris, and I do appreciate it. And I'll go as long as I possibly can without using this power that I have.
Well, I'm gonna use mine every single day, I think, because how else am I gonna tell him, Gakmat, all about my stories and our deeds and everything else? So, like, even if we don't get in a fight, I might just put him down at the dinner table so we can hang out with him while we eat.
No.
If you do that, I promise you this group will not last very long.
Why?
I agree.
Because we won't be able to hold our dinners down and we'll starve to death.
Well, that would be very mean.
It's not something we would really have a choice over.
I don't see why not. You can eat around me, and we look almost exactly the same, me and Gakmat.
Yeah, almost.
I too have a foot attached to my nipple.
You do?
No.
Except in a very roundabout way.
Well, I mean, technically, if you go down my body, there is a foot attached to me and a nipple attached to me, so kind of in a way.
Why don't we
Anyway.
take a rest?
Let's take a
You
rest.
want me to make my little hut?
So Lion's gonna lay down and start gnawing on Krem's foot, and
Okay.
I'm gonna hop off and go to the door. Yeah, he wants a snack. He's tired. I'm gonna go to the door and just listen and see if I can hear anything.
Make a perception check. You go to the door. You hear and you can feel like you have a good sense of what's going on down there. It seems to be pretty quiet. Just the wind from the storm seems to be subsiding a bit. The moonlight is starting to come out a little bit more. The storm seems to be almost dissipated.
Well, let's.
That's the door going down into the stairway?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see if, like, how to close the door?
You see that there is a large wooden slat up that would just happen to be open.
Can I
Maybe you
look
can pull
around
that.
and see if there's anything that
Okay,
Crumb
I'll
has?
just pull it.
So, Annulin pulls it down and locks it.
Well, can I before she
Oh.
does that? Can I see if there's anything Crumb has written, like what his handwriting would look like, or would I have any idea of what his handwriting?
In
would
your
look like?
investigation check, you don't have any concept.
Well, if I'm trying to look for it now before she does it, because essentially
You
what
would
I
have
would
found
like
something
to
that you would
do,
have written down in your investigation check of the room.
because I just want to, like, on a rough piece of something, like I have parchment, like try to copy his handwriting and just say bother me, and I'll feed you to my Barallans.
As you're like looking around for a piece of paper, Ratley says something and says,
I don't think King Krem could even sign his name.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna draw a penis and stick it to the other side of the door.
he knew Krem. Oh, I also forgot about the thing you found in his pocket. A golden plate with a K on it.
Yay!
Pardon me. Sorry.
So how many? So we only
have
need one
K,
more.
R, E. We don't
So we
have
just
the
need
M.
the M till we get an extra life.
I can use an extra life.
Annulin, you close the door. There's a big lock on it. It seems to kind of there's a little slot with a metal bar in the stone, like a storage unit or something, and so it locks from the inside like that.
Well,
Guys, I didn't hear anything down there, so I think at least from that side, we might be okay to take a rest for a bit.
yeah, let's just drag all this blood and gore inside of my magic hut and go to bed.
We don't have a lot of time. It sounds like Orpheus is very close to accomplishing whatever his plan B is.
Yeah, but we also need to sleep, so...
We're not going to stop anything by going in and getting
I
killed,
agree.
but
Okay.
at least for an hour.
So I'm gonna take 10 minutes to cast Lehman's tiny hut.
I personally think we should take a long rest and deal with this in the morning.
I'm really tired too. It's been an eventful day.
And I don't think anyone's gonna willingly come up here unless summoned by Krem, so...
Fair enough.
And I'm gonna prestidigitation everything to look nice and clean, just in case. Clean up the body and drag it into the tiny hut when it's made. So if anyone came up, they would just see like a weird little.
Okay. So you prestidigitation
Would we all
everything.
fit with Krem's body and
Yeah, I
the?
can hold up to 9.
Yeah, but he's like.
Krem's body would be a little tough to fit in there.
Well,
Or just throw them in the pool.
Yeah.
Pool's deep enough to hide the bodies?
Yeah.
Throw them in the pools.
Yeah.
Can Lion fit in the tent?
Lion should be
I
able to.
hardly ever get to see him.
How long does he last?
1 hour.
Okay, yeah. So he's almost at his thing, so he probably is. He'll be able to fit for the time being. But so you're gonna throw all the bodies in the pools?
Yeah.
Can Earth Elemental fit?
No.
No.
Peace out.
Earth Elemental like nods at you and just stands there and waits, and then crumbles into Earth.
Thank you for
in
your
the
service.
hour. Sylvie puts up the Lehman's tiny hut, and you're snuggling with Lion until he shrinks, and there's a little figurine standing there on the ground, and you all examine your items that you got.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
Holy.
I'm gonna pick Lion up and just put him back in my pocket.
Okay, Lion gets picked up and gets put in your pocket.
Do you
Rodek looks like he's gonna have a heart attack.
So where did you put the tiny hut?
I was just gonna kind of put it against the wall and kind of make it a color similar to what the wall looks like.
Okay, you make it a gray stone.
And I was going to take first watch.
Okay. So what's the watch order?
You want me to read them?
Yeah.
Usually just Annual and I switch off 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that, you drift off to sleep, and you take watch, and you complete a long rest, and you are now at level 9. And that's where we'll end the session.
But can I read these?
Oh yes, yes, of course.
And I want to read them as Sylvie. Well, let's look at this. Oh, it looks like that thing that I gave you is much more powerful than my Ugukli was. You now owe me. You've got something called Rising Tide Armor. Shield. Rare. Requires attunement. While holding this shield, you have an advantage on saving throws against spells. Well, what if I get mad at you? That sucks. I shouldn't have given that to you.
You already have advantage against saving throws versus spells.
Well, some, yes. And then Rodek, what did you get? You got the Crocodile Cleaver. Weapon, greatsword, rare, requires attunement. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. Wow, that's cool. Not as good as mine, but that's okay. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using this magic weapon, you can wound the target. At the start of each of the wounded creature's turns, it takes 1d4 necrotic damage for each time you've wounded it. Holy moly, that's better than my item. And it can then make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, ending the effect of all such wounds on itself on a success. Alternatively, the wounded creature, or a creature within 5 feet of it, can make a DC 15 medicine check, ending the effect of such wounds on it upon a success. Okay, can I use a greatsword?
No.
Oh. Well, then I guess you can have it back. That sounds really cool.
That's
Awesome.
incredible.
This is unreal.
Well, I would say it was worth it for all of the crap we had to get through to get here. So, I don't know. I feel good. I feel more powerful.
You feel like you're level 9. Anyway, that's what we'll end. The session's ended there. Thanks, guys. It was a long session. It's late. We appreciate you sticking up. Thanks, players.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
It was a big boss fight that you know it's going to go late when there's a boss fight. So
5th level spells.
great job, guys. And I guess Discord. So remember, anyone who's still here, we're giving away a dice bag. Follow us when we hit 200 followers. Tell your friends. Amazing custom dice bags made by Nikki.
Yeah, by me.
Great stuff. It'll be fun. We're announcing an even better giveaway after this one. So you want to get us to get to 200. Come hang out on Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Come hang out at the Great Andini Twitch on most days when we're not playing D&D. Really fantastic video game stream. Oh, they're gone.
I'm gone.
What happened?
Oh, no.
What happened?
I don't
Oh, there you
know.
go.
Hey, I'm
Hey,
You're
he's
back.
back.
Yes, so what he was saying, follow the great _Andini
Yes.
on Twitch so that
Can we link it in the chat for?
Annie, he's
Annie, just
post a
link
link.
because
Did you put that in
sometimes
the doobly-doo?
he is brand new to World of Warcraft. The rest of us are old grandpas and grandmas with World of Warcraft, so we've been doing dungeons and just having an all-around good time. And when we're not doing that, he's did you just subscribe?
Annie, you
Andy?
subscribed.
I did sleep up today. I got my free one again today.
Yes.
So
You guys
that's
are
amazing. And then when he's not playing with us, he's playing Hearthstone, which he's really good at. He does PUBG, sometimes League of Legends when he wants to be really mad. And overall, he's just very charismatic and fun to watch. So
It's
you should
great.
check him
It's
out.
a great time.
But aside from all of that, on Monday we do
Yes.
a Feywild campaign. Starts at 7:30.
Yes,
Between 7 and 7:30,
7:30.
depending on when we get it set up. We always say that we start earlier. But anyway, so I DM that campaign. It's a lot of fun. Please hang out with us, and then we'll be back Wednesday at 8 for the continuation of Prime campaign. And I think that we are getting ready
We're
to
gonna
raid
raid.
somebody.
Yes, we're
So,
gonna raid.
stick
So
around.
if you want to show the love of the Avantris fam, show these streamers your love. Who I don't know who are.
Show them your Hooters if you're
Show them your Hooters. If you got your Hooters, flash them. We're rating the savings throw show.
They're
Yeah.
good people.
They're good people. They're really,
They're really
good
good
guys.
people.
Awesome people. Show them your love. Show them your Hooters.
Show them
That's
your
the most
Hooters.
important thing.
I got my Hooters ready.
We'll see you guys Monday, and then it's back again Wednesday for Prime for Avantris Prime, Legends of Avantris. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. We love you guys, and I guess we're going to be raiding here shortly.
Yeah, so stick around, raid them, spread the love. Bye, we love you, thank you.